And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Code for Giants Cup number 22, your bi-weekly dose of Brazilian StarCraft. I'm, of course, your VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Whew, it has been a week. It's been far too long here since the last Brazilian StarCraft edition here, and I'm happy to jump on in. As a reminder, this is a replay cast as we did miss this event live not too long ago, but now we're here to catch up. And I did want to catch up for a couple of different reasons here. So first things first, I did mention this last time, but I want to mention it again. One, welcome one and all to feature these amazing Brazilian players. But for a very long time now, for the past couple of months, ever since the start of the year, the Brazilian scene has been crowdfunding and has been attempting to host an offline event in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, and that has been successful. They did crowdfund, they did book the venue as well, and there is going to be an offline event in June in Brazil, and they're organizing and they're hosting events like this, like Code for Giants Cup, MasTeR StarCraft, Host Open, to accumulate points to be able to qualify for the event and to make it through. I say that at this point, I believe we have now concluded all the players that have got enough points to qualify for the event, and the event begins next week. When I say the event begins, basically the finals, the playoff bracket is going to be in the offline venue in June, but leading up to it, there are going to be online, like, open stages, or I should say stage one, like online stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, leading up to those offline finals. And that is this weekend. That is going to be this weekend. That's the first stage. The first stage is going to be this weekend, and we will do our best to bring you that content here and now in English, of course. Again, that's going to be over the weekend. It's going to be at a brutal time. It's going to be at like 3 a.m. KST or something crazy like that, or like 2 a.m. our time, something along those lines. So it's going to be at a little bit of a rougher time slot, at least for those in the Australia region, but for those in the Americas or in Europa, should be at a decent time. And yeah, we'll do our best to bring that to you as best we can here in English, maybe in English. It's gonna be amazing, gonna be beautiful. So a big shout out to all those working behind the scenes, a big shout out to the Brazilian community for making this a reality as well. It's really cool to see them come together and create this initiative and have the passion to bring this together as well. And because that's going to be happening here over the weekend, I do want to catch up on all the missing matches that we weren't able to broadcast. Again, we did cast Code for Giants Cup 23 live, but 22 we did miss, so I want to be able to catch up on the form of these players as best as I can. Speaking of, let's go, Bobby, let's go. Exciting times, 100%. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of like crowd-funded and community-funded events that are going on at the moment, whether it's in Brazil, whether it's the HSL, the Hispanic StarCraft League, whether it's KSL, whether it's our own events as well. It's really cool to see the community and the people come together to actually be able to make these tournaments and have something for the players to compete in as well. So 100%. It's really cool, really exciting, and we will start things off here with our initial TBT. Now, this might be a bit of a shorter broadcast, but we do have our quarterfinals into semis into grand finals ready for us. Up first, we have Kamikaze versus Yan, gonna be facing off. Let's go. Let us go. Again, Yan is a player that we don't get to cast enough of, I'll be honest. I love me some Yan, but again, Yan, he's a bit of a younger player. He's a little bit less active. In his prime, I would say that he'll be favored in this series, but we'll see how they compare. This morning, in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, also from Brazil, representing Team Hellfire. It is Yan. Yanji. And, of course, if you're in the chat, if you're looking and if you're craving for some Erik, I know that Erik, he didn't play in last week's Code for Giants Cup, but he did play in this Code for Giants Cup, so we will get into some Erik action soon, TM. We'll get there, Bobby, we'll get there. Don't you worry. As for now, We are going to be settling into our initial TVT matchup. So far, so good. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. Now, coming into this TVT, I'm a little bit concerned. CranKy, he's known for mech. He's known for mech. He's known for slowing the game down and having his own unique approach to the game. Yen is a much more active player, much more active, going into bio-tank more often than not, going to drop play. But again, it's been a while since I've casted Yen, so I do miss covering him. I do miss casting him as a player. So we'll see how he does approach someone of the caliber of CranKy. I mentioned before that Yen in his prime, I would favor 100%. But nowadays, Yen does spend a lot of time on his studies, you know, focusing elsewhere, not as much time competing as he used to back in the day. Okay, okay, craving for Erik. Yes, we crave for the kangaroo. True. Yo, shout out to Gnome Chomsky in the chat. Shout out to Turbo Quacker. Oh my god, baby god. Thank you so much for gifting a tier 1 sub to the community. It actually lands on Luciano, papi. Oh my god. Luciano, he's a Chilean Terran player. So shout out to Luciano. I'm sure he'll be pleasantly surprised to see the sub once he does recognize it. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Turbo Quacker, for the gift, for the support. Thank you so much. As always. The people cry out for Erik. Oh no, not like this. Whenever Erik goes to the Erik opener, people out there, they cry out, they scream his name. They don't know why, but they do. Oh no, it's the Erik. Ay. As for now, double gas opener here out of CranKy, going for a racks into factory into a delayed TC. Yen does the same, so mirrored build so far. Everyone is going for the same opener for the time being. There's a command center for Yen, there's a command center for CranKy as well, and from here we'll see where our players deviate. For the time being, it's going to be Reaper Hellion, no add-ons yet. It looks like we're going straight for the starport into a 1-1-1. Meanwhile, CranKy does go for the earlier add-on. So because this CranKy, he only has one Reaper. He went one Reaper into Tech Lab, into add-on swap, into early Cyclone. This is something more defensive. So with the early Cyclone, CranKy, he should be able to defend back at home and deflect any kind of aggression. We have Yen, speaking of aggression, building up extra Reapers, extra Hellions to be active on the map, but he shouldn't really be able to achieve too much here, at least across the map. Meanwhile, again, he's going for the faster 1-1-1. Add-ons now going to be on the way. Here comes that Reaper Hellion, and by the time this army gets across the map, the Cyclone should be ready for this. Yeah, we got the Cyclone, we got a second Cyclone on the way. CranKy should be very robust with this. He should not move out onto the map. Defensively back at home, he has the high ground to work with. He can, of course, kite back. The CC might be under a little bit of threat here as he does go for the SV, but no, alas, lock-on is solid, and CranKy defends. Ooh, catching the Hellion. So nice pick up here. Hellion does go down. Behind this, we have our 1-1-1. From here, this should lead into Raven production, but oh, never mind. I was going to say that it's not uncommon to open up Banshee. Now, you may be thinking, hold up, Cloak Banshee, can it really do too well here? I mean, scans are available. That is true, scans are available, but because Cloak Banshees are so uncommon, it is very common for Terran players to just mule their hearts out and to be as efficient as possible on their economy, so there isn't always a scan available. Damage can still be done with those Cloak Banshees. So we go, CranKy does fan out on the right hand side. We have Reapers here towards the left hand side instead. Drop moves out. Oh, the drop is going to be caught out. The boost is on cooldown, and the medevac takes a lot of hits. And the medevac, one more shot will barely not go down. Whew. Okay, yeah, and he will save the medevac. He will break the loco. Nice juggling here with the Cyclone. Medevac does still fall in the end. Oh, and he's forced to engage. He will lose the Cyclone. He does not get... Oh, he does. Oh my god. The Reapers for the surround. Cleans up all the Cyclones. Not too bad. Yan able to catch out the army. Looking at the slot tab here, a very back and forth trade. You can see CranKy barely comes out worse when it comes to losing gases. He lost 2 Cyclones. Meanwhile, Yan lost 1 Cyclone and 1 medevac. So close trades. Reapers, they bust into the main base, they get eyes on the very fast 3rd CC. Jesus. So fast 3rd CC here by CranKy. Boys are being pulled. SCV is going to be going down. CranKy, he's in trouble here. He's in trouble bleeding out a lot of SCVs. Behind this, we do have a standard Raven tank follow-up. As Reapers, they try to get behind the mineral line. Reapers, they've yet to really confirm what's going on. They get another SCV. Very nice control here from Yen, getting up to 4 workers. But the Banshee has arrived, and what is the anti-air looking like? 2 Marines? The Cyclone does race back home. We're holding onto a scan. And that's going to be, what, 4 or 5 SCV kills. Cyclone comes in. There's a scan. There's a lock-on, and the Banshee should go down. Whew. First Banshee falls. First Banshee does fall. We have a second Banshee moving out as we speak. Yan is now aware, and now he's focusing on his defense. Now, my biggest concern here coming into the mid game is that CranKy has an insanely fast third base, and so far, Yan, he hasn't been able to really do much with it. He's still stuck at home defending against the Banshees. We'll see if Yan can try to punish the greed of CranKy. Oh, there's lock on. There's lock on, and oh my god, lock on gets broken, just barely out of vision, just barely out of range of the scan. CranKy does survive back at home. We did mention earlier that CranKy is very fond of mech, and there it is. We have 2 more factories on the way. CranKy is meching it up. Meanwhile, Yan, from here, he has the option to go into mech, but he should be playing bio as he throws out his own 3rd CC. Reapers, they bust in, they get eyes on another factory. He knows. He now knows what's going on. Now aware of the mech coming his way. Likewise, oh, we do have his own Banshee, I believe, cloakless. Yeah, and also hits the natural base, and where's the anti-air? Zero anti-air here for CranKy. Tank is going to be targeted down, SCV is going to be falling, and we have some Vikings on the way, we have some Cyclones on the way, but CranKy is just losing far too much. At the same time, also gets across the map, the Banshees, they're popping off. Oh my god. Banshee does fall. Likewise, another Banshee here at the natural. More SCV is going to be going down. The Banshees are pretty good. God damn it. As Yan does defend in the end, and CranKy will eventually force his back, bearing in mind that Yan does not have scan. Ooh, but he does force a wasted. He does not have cloak, but he does force a wasted scan. Nicely done. Getting 13 SCV kills, denying any kind of mining at the natural base as well, and just like that, Yan does take an economic lead. Has an army lead as well, checking his upgrades, no stim. Is getting into fire, but unfortunately no stim, so this army has a lot of potential, but trying to dive into a siege line and break a tank line here is not going to be easy. That's where the Raven comes into play. Of course, Yan did research interference matrix, so he can disable a tank, he can break a siege line, but oof, CranKy waiting for Yan to move out. CranKy, he has set a trap. Scan reveals that the army is nowhere to be found. A little bit suspect. Now Yan can still disable this army and break this position. So he does get into the mineral line. There we go, he does force a response here by CranKy, big on siege. And yeah, now he moves in, he scans, he does spot the 3rd base. And he's moving in. Does move in, does siege in position, the base is under fire. Got massive shots going off. And he does spot the mech army. Oh, first Raven's going to go down. Oh, brutal connection. Yeah, Raven falls. The other Raven barely does pull away, but that's an expensive loss here for Yan. Oh no, he wants it. Oh my god, he gets it as well. Whew. So nice figures here by CranKy. Yeah, that was two Ravens full of energy as well. Ay. They could have disabled. Could have seen something out of that. Yan, as CranKy does land those Vikings, going for the tank. The final tank does go down. Yan losing all of his tanks, but can he get the CC? He can! Oh my god! He gets the orbital! Takes down the 3rd base, not bad. Yo, who needs stim? Man with gun. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, but it's pretty... Ay. Does snipe the expansion, CranKy now down a base. But his tank army here is still terrifying. Looking at the units tab here, it's going to be 5 tanks to the 3 of Yan. Yan just out getting the stim, combat shields, rest of his army, rest of his production. Heli run by is going to be shut down. Whew. Momentum is on the inside. Now, I would love to see him try to keep being aggressive and move in and try to break one of these bases, but the reality is that Yan, he doesn't have stim, right? So he has to wait for his upgrades before he can really do anything across the map. This will give CranKy time to recover. He's making more tanks, making more Vikings. Again, he is slowing down the game, or at least he's hoping to slow down the game. He's also double expanding. 3rd base and a 4th base at the same time. Ay. That's a lot of bases, that's a lot of CCs. So we are still building up. Now, once Yan has those upgrades, can he still break this position? I think he can go for drop play. Right now, because the economy has been stifled for CranKy, usually a meching Terran player would already have a line of a ring of turrets, right? That have a ring of turrets here in the main base to destroy any kind of drop plays, sensor towers as well. Right now, the turtle isn't really there. Like, the defenses aren't there, not yet. So there is an opening for some doom drops into the main, some drop play into the natural. You can see that the entire army of Kamikaze is centralized in one location. There are openings here towards the natural and towards the main base that Yan can make use of, but he has to notice it himself. Does have to recognize said openings. For now, he's still building up. There we go. Here's the move out. Yeah, and he does have a couple of medevacs, so he can go for drop play. Shots at the Hellions. Kamikaze, he's aware he should rotate. Deeper is going down. And Kamikaze, his army does not move. Yeah, and he's finding an opening. He scans. He does see the army. Sees it's out of position. There are 2 tanks to worry about, though. Does them in. Yeah, Sims 40 should take down both tanks. Takes a lot of tank shots. His army does stack. Oh god, he goes right into the mid-run. He's bleeding out too much. Yeah, this is not going to be worth it here. I mean, he does get one of the tanks, but he bleeds out so much in the process. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, again, he plummets in supply. Unfortunately, he kept his army stacked up, so the value here with these tank shots was brutal. And you can see he got 4 SCVs. He got 4 SCVs, 1 tank, 4 Hellions, and he lost 35 Marines and 7 Marauders. Ay, ay, ay. He lost far too much. And I'm worried. Now, Yan still has a massive supply lead, but now he has no dive potential. A lot of his supply are in workers, or in tanks, or in medevacs. He no longer has that massive bio army, which means he can no longer stim in. He can no longer stim in, he can no longer break a position. Kamikaze is successfully turtling up. So he has now successfully established his 3rd base. He's now getting a 4th expansion as well. Kamikaze is still down in supply, but remember, the mech army is very efficient here, so might be down in army supply, but really he still has a more efficient army, a greater army, and things are looking a little bit more dire now for Yan. Yan, he had some opportunities here in this game, but at this point, those opportunities are falling by the wayside. There's still openings into the main base. There's still no turrets or anything like that. We do see a drop into said main, but it's going to be deflected. Only 1 medevac. And he moves in the right hand side. Now, Yan can still try and punish the 4th base. There's only 2 tanks. The sensor tower is not quite done yet. There we go. Does push forward. Kamikaze scans, though he sees the army. He responds. And Kamikaze rotates over. Again, just fortifying this expansion. Now he's got 4 tanks and 2 liberators. It's not going to be very good. Now, I do appreciate what Kamikaze is doing. Sorry, what Yan is doing. Yan, he's going for the fusion core. So fusion core is on the way. This could be one of 2 things. Right now, the answer to this kind of mass mech army that Kamikaze is going for, you can go into BCs. You can try to throw down like 3 starports and go into mass BC. We can see here we have triple starport production already going to mass Viking, but this fusion core might just be for liberators. That is another way to approach this, of course, is going into Viking lib. But at this point, it's one of those things where Yan, as the game has progressed, now we're done with the bio army. Now we have to get into our own form of mech, and Kamikaze, he's already there. Now, thankfully for Yan, Kamikaze's upgrades are actually lacking. I didn't realize, but it looks like, yeah, he's only just now getting +1 vehicle plating, or armor plating. He's not getting +2. So the upgrades are lacking here for Kamikaze. Yan moving in. Does catch out the Vikings. Gets 1. Gets 1 so far. You can see more factories on the way. So again, Yan, like, at this point, like, he has to get into his own mech. Kamikaze getting to MasTeR. At this point, I would want potentially Yan to throw away some Vikings or throw away some Marauders for some Liberators. As the Liberator is called out. This is why I head with upgrades, just have it in. If you're referring to trying to break these siege lines, Kamikaze will win that fight. You can be up 30, 40 supply, and pushing into a siege line like this, you will lose. Like, Kamikaze cannot break this position. He shouldn't try to. Otherwise, that will just cost him the game. Well, Heli Rumbai does get 12 SCVs. At this point, at this point, Yan's best option is to contain the Terran player on 4 bases and mass expand. And so far, Yan is doing so. But I do want to see like a prioritization of like more starports, more liberators, getting to Yamato. This Kamikaze, it looks like he's getting ready for his own expansion. Kamikaze breaking out. This is going to be Yan's moment. He can try to surround this army, try to sandwich in. It's still going to be a little bit awkward, but this is going to be Yan's best moment. Like, Kamikaze, he can defend very well defensively, but now he's moving out into the open. He's moving out. Yan is repositioning. Kamikaze can just go right down mid. Yeah, he's knocking down those rocks. Pushing through the center. He's got his MasTeR. And trying to set up for this. Slowly pushing in. Yeah, tanks are going to be sieging. Liberators, they overextend. Yeah, libs are going to be first to go down. Ay. Yeah, and he led with the liberators. And with that, lib count is reset. Likewise, nice landing from Kamikaze, catching up the tanks. Tanks going to be going down. Trading up more marauders, which is probably a good thing here. Again, it's all about like tank, Viking, liberator at this point. Kamikaze is working his own vehicle weapons number 2. Meanwhile, Yan, it looks like he is fallen by the wayside when it comes to his upgrades. He has 1-1, but he hasn't started +2 on his armory. I mean, like these 3-3 upgrades mean nothing. Like like these 3-3 upgrades, they don't really mean much here for Yan. Kamikaze's pushing in, catching out more tanks. Kamikaze just forcing his way through. Liberation has arrived. We need more lives back. More tanks as well. Jesus, Kamikaze's got 21 tanks. He has foregone Viking or air control, I should say, trying to get back into it. Production under fire. Yeah, and he still hasn't started those upgrades. Let's get a couple of tanks. A couple of tanks go down. Likewise, he has the high ground, getting another tank. Nice little pickups here and there. Once again, these liberators, they do stack. So be careful. Forcing back the army. Kamikaze, he breaks out, he gets a new expansion. Big moment here for Kamikaze, double expanding. Yeah, and he cannot let that happen. These are big moments here for Kamikaze, getting a 5th base and a 6th. But he's just zoning Yan away. Kamikaze moving in, going for another expansion. Yes, he's going to be punished for it. Gets 1 tank, Liberation has arrived, but once again he leads with the Liberators and he's going to lose every single one. Yeah, Liberators, they all go down. You do need to ideally engage with the ground army to tank shots to allow the Liberators to siege up. And yeah, he's falling apart here. He's falling apart, losing everything. We have mass BC on the way from Kamikaze, and again he's embracing BCs in a faster way. Making 3 BCs at a time. Now, even though he is making 3 BCs at a time, I will say that the Viking count is still in favor of Yan. So in a head-on fight, I think Yan is still going to be okay with all those Vikings. assuming he maintains that Viking lead. Now trying to force his way forward. Does catch out the Thors, gets one of the tanks. Nicely done. Still holding on to that Viking count. Down to 10. 10 Vikings left. Okay, +3 ship weapons on the way. See, it does overextend with that BC. C goes down. This game should go into just mass like Sky Terran versus Sky Terran. That should be the direction that we're heading in. Kamikaze does find another expansion though. Target goes down. Yan trying to respond. He does rotate. But of course, Kamikaze can just teleport. He can just teleport away. He shouldn't lose these BCs. Yep, there's a teleport. Gets on top of the tanks. Yan just getting pulled apart. Again, BCs are just so mobile here, and they shut down 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks. Oh my gosh. 4 or 5 tanks going down. And trying to keep up. He's got how many? He's got 12 Liberators, 15 Vikings. Does at least have the attack upgrades here on his air army. He's trying to move in. The Thors, they punish him so hard. And here come the Liberators. This time they will siege up. Oh, where are the Vikings? Yeah, Vikings a little bit too far behind. Now they're moving in. And yeah, he should come out on top of this fight, but at the same time, he will lose an entire mineral line. 16 SCVs going down. The BCs wreak havoc. But cooldown, the teleport should be on cooldown. So the BCs, they should go down. Gets one. Gets one, gets two, gets all three. And yeah, he will win this fight. Takes down all of the battle cruisers. Takes down the tanks. Did lose an expansion, but hey, he's got another. He's got more bases. Still has a semblance of an economy. Not too much, actually. He's down to 50 SCVs. It's concerning. And he's scanning, looking for bases. He's moving in. Kamikaze still has a greater economy, and he has to get another base. We gotta send it back. There are just so many tanks there. Yeah, there are just too many tanks to move in. Look at the planetary. Planetary goes down. Kamikaze rotating. Oh, the Vikings. So there's that barely within range. Tanks are going down at the same time. Kamikaze pushing on the right hand side. This will force a big reaction. Coming from behind. Likewise, Vikings that do move in. Oh, God, there's just so many Thors though. Yeah, Thors, they shut down the libs. And there's just no answer. There's no answer to the Thors here. We have mass Viking. Not enough Liberators, not enough BCs. The Thors, they overwhelm. And another base goes down. Yeah, again, he just can't engage. Yeah, I mean, sure, he can land the Vikings, true. The Vikings. The base goes down. Yeah, and he does still have bottom left fully operational. He's trying to take another expansion. Likewise, Kamikaze's and base is denied. He has top right, fully operational as well. They each have a full mining base. Kamikaze has a better economy. Look at the Unistab. Kamikaze's got 11 Thors. And there's not that much anti-ground. For Yan. If he can fight with all of his tanks, then maybe. He needs all those tanks. Yan is moving in. doesn't like the CC. Yeah, and he actually does zone Kamikaze away from his own expansion, so he can bring down this base, but he reacts. Yeah, he reacts to Kamikaze instead. He pulls back. Kamikaze going pure Viking Thor. It's a lot of Thors. And this base goes uncontested. Now the BCs, they will come across the expansion. The most important base here for Kamikaze. Now it's going to be going down. All the SVs are going to be falling. Oh my gosh. Jesus. The Thors, they blast the Vikings out of the sky. That was crazy. Mineral line goes down. Yeah, and he teleports away. BCs, they are going to fall. Tanks, they pop off Vikings. They just go for the land. The tank's going to be going down. Massive pig off here. Kamikaze, he shuts down the tanks. Catches out the Liberators. Once again, just pulling Yen apart. Yeah, and he plummets in supply. And now Kamikaze has access to the base. Access to bottom left. He should be heading in that direction. Yeah, checking for fringe bases, checking for expansions. And trying to keep up. And again, the supplies are getting close here, but I do still favor Kamikaze's main army. Like, his main army here is still looking greater than that of Yan's. Yeah, catching out more tanks. One BC does get caught out, but Yan, he no longer has the Viking lead. He's down to a handful of Marines, Marauders, a handful of tanks. Yeah, Kamikaze's moving in, and he will overwhelm. GG gets called. Kamikaze, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, Kamikaze does overwhelm Yen. He was in a really rough position. I will say that Yen had a better early game. He had a much better early game. If you remember, he was up in bases, he was up in upgrades, he was up in economy. He had a lot of advantages, but we spoke about it. We spoke about how Yen, he had to leverage that advantage in some way to try to catch Kamikaze out of position and make use of his immobility. And if you remember, it all culminated in that one big bio attack at the natural, where Yen, he lost, was it like 30 marine? He lost so much bio supply for like one tank. He killed one tank, he killed 4 Hellions. It was not worth it. After that moment, he lost a lot of momentum that he had accumulated, and at a certain point, Kamikaze, he was able to stabilize and then just overwhelm. I mentioned at the time that Yan, he just had a really hard time switching out of his bio and switching into Sky Terran, and switching into mech, his own mech as well. And Kamikaze was just having a greater, just better fights, pushing in, kind of bullying in. GG. GG, well played. With that, Kamikaze does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if Yan can recover coming into game 2. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing New Alliance, I think it's New Alliance. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Hellfire. It is Yan. We go. Golfing ain't easy. I mean, again, I think when you were talking about tapping it in, we did mention that Yan could not attack. Like, he was like, he just didn't have the best army for it. He couldn't break Kamikaze. Another big moment, of course, was when Kamikaze was able to successfully get a 5th base. Like, that was a big moment for Kamikaze. Yan's win condition was to try to contain Kamikaze and max out, and being able to just out macro him. But that's something that Yan did fail to do, as Kamikaze did break out to get a 5th base. He successfully got into his own BCs and Thors. But now we're getting into game number 2. Go. Catching up. Buenos life, ¿cómo vamos? All good, sí, sí, all good, papi, all good. All good. Como siempre, papi, como siempre. As of now, double gas. Once again, double gas opening here at CranKy. Now, CranKy, he's known for mech. He's known for mech. He's known for, I mean, the style that we just saw. So we expect that again here in game number 2. Now, what I will say is that I do think that this is going to be a stronger map for CranKy. When it comes to Whistles of Gold is a much smaller map and aggression is favored. So being able to, or trying to be active and trying to apply pressure and trying to break these siege lines and outposition your opponent, you can be a little bit more successful in Whispers of Gold. Here on Amygdala, much larger map, much larger map rotations. They take longer on this map as well. It is easier to fortify and to defend these locations. So this is where Kamikaze is going to be looking at his strongest. This is where Yan has to take a different approach. Now we might see Yan be more aggressive, or we might see Yan be a little bit more accepting of that game state and switch into Sky Terran a little bit faster instead. Oh my god, as we're going for a 1-1-1. Double gas opener, Kamikaze going for the racks into factory into CC. Yan looking to go for a 1-base all-in. Okay, I mean, sure, I guess. On the one hand, I'm like, okay, so this is a way to clearly a way to break and kill Kamikaze early on. The problem, though, as we mentioned, is that the rush distance by ground is much longer here. This build is weaker on Amygdala, so we'll see if Kamikaze can figure out what's going on. But now he's in the dark. Here we go, going into MasTeR Reaper, Hellion Liberator. Now, Yan, it looks like he will, or he's setting up for an expansion, but this is a very late expansion. So if he does take a natural base, he needs to get damage done with his army because of how delayed this natural would be. As Kamikaze, his own natural is almost done. It's almost done at this point. Reapers are moving out. Kamikaze soon to figure out what's going on. Does dip in. He wants a starport. Yeah, he does see it's already done. Big tell. And massive tell already. SCV is going to be going down. Yeah, and he will respond. Does rotate back in. Getting out 1, 2, 3 Reapers. And now we have the CC on the way. And now Yen, he's got to send it across the map. Now back at home, what do we have to defend? Bunkers on the way. Viking production has begun. Oh, 2 Cyclones. Okay. I mean, Kamikaze looking pretty solid here. We'll see if Yan can try to distract him. That's probably going to be the best chance here. We have the Liberator into the main base. We have MasTeR Reaper Hellion here towards the south side. We have 6 Reapers and 3 Hellions. That's a lot of Reaper Hellion. He's going for the Cyclones. He gets 1. Oh, never mind. The first Cyclone does pull away. Second Cyclone likewise as well. Nice kiting here by Kamikaze. He shuts down the Hellions. He shuts down the Reapers, and Kamikaze, he will defend. At the same time, Liberator into the main. Viking will shut it down. 5 SCV kills is a good start, but Kamikaze is still ahead. And Kamikaze still has a worker lead. That's going to be 7 SCV kills. Kamikaze still on 28 workers compared to the 25 of Yen. The natural base is still not done. Kamikaze, he's got extra mules as well. And that was not good enough. Again, this shows just how aggressive and how committed Yan was here with his build. Going for the early 1-1-1. And yes, on the one hand, he killed 7 SCVs. That is good, but not good enough. From here, Kamikaze still has the economic advantage. From here, Kamikaze going for a second starport. Interesting. Now, a 2-port build here is traditionally a 2-base all-in. 2-port, 2-base all-in is typically when you go into Massive Viking and then you make 1 Liberator, you maintain air control, and then you just snowball into a win from there with that 1 lib. But I know the Kamikaze, he does have some quirky builds at times, so if we were casting a player like Maru or Clem or Björn or Cure, I'd say 100% 2-base all-in. Like 2-base all-in here from the Blue Terran. Here from Kamikaze, we'll see how it all pieces together because he is making Ravens instead. Interesting. Is making Ravens into add-on swap into Mass Viking. He may be doing this just to take a Viking lead. We'll see. As there's the add-on swap, from here Viking should be amassing, getting into tank production, extra factories, and building up. Now, the pressure is on Yan from here. We've yet to really determine what direction he's going in. From here, he can still go into Bio and go into Stim. Again, he now has a better idea of the kind of player that CranKy is. I mean, CranKy does have a reputation. So we'll see if he goes for an add-on swap here, or if indeed he does research something like Stim. Third CC's on the way. Getting a third command center. Guys building his Vikings, his tanks. Based on the delayed upgrade, it's got to be Mech himself, right? I mean, that might be the direction that we have to go in at this point. Going Mech versus Mech. Okay, there it is. He's going for, and never mind, going for Stim, going for Bio. Now, as he's working towards Stim and building up his Bio upgrades and Bio army, here comes the Mech. Here comes CranKy, and he has a terrifying army here. Remember, he's making 3 Vikings at a time because of the 2-port build, because of the 2-port setup on 2 bases. Now, CranKy does get a 3rd CC on location, but this army is terrifying. He has disables ready. How many tanks? 5. 5 tanks are set up. The Viking count is actually in favor of, actually even. Viking count is even. Ooh. But I will say that Yan has a defensive advantage. Slack points, they lock on. They lock on, they lock in, they take down 2 Vikings. And remember, CranKy, he has all those ravens, all that energy. He can break this position. It's up to Yan to try to zone the ravens away. CC is denied. CranKy getting his zone up and running. And he has to pull away. Does pull away. The base is exposed. Yeah, not quite in position. Oh, and it's gonna go down. Oh god. The boys are being pulled to repair out of the SCVs. Oh my god, they get baited in. Auto charges get thrown down and the base will fall. GG gets called, and CranKy, he will take the series 2-0, taking down Yan. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a really rough start there for Yan, winding it back. As a reminder, he went for a very committed early game build. 1-1-1, 6 Reapers, 3 Hellions, and 1 Liberator. It was very committed, and it did not do enough damage. With that, everything just fell, by the way. Everything just fell apart. Everything just fell apart from there. We saw that Yanni tried to recover, tried to get into eventually his Stim upgrades, his own Vikings, his own tanks, his own 3rd TC, but alas, he was just too far behind. And CranKy, he had so many different ways to break that location. He didn't even have to throw down all those auto turrets. He still could have tried to disable tanks and push into the natural. Like, he had a lot of options there with his army. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. With that, we do see CranKy advancing on into the next round, and we are here to follow CranKy into the semi-finals. Let's go. Up next is going to be a TVZ. It's going to be CranKy versus Erik in the next round. Oh boy. Oh, it's one of our own, Pappy. It's what? He's beautiful. Let's go. Now again, CranKy, he's known for his mech. He's known for slowing the game down. And Erik, I would say Erik's weakest matchup is ZVT. I would say his weakest matchup is ZVT. This is where he can falter at times, and we have seen Inexorable bring Erik down, but that's a little bit different here. Where Inexorable can excel is bio play, right? Inexorable, he's a much faster player. Inexorable, he does play bio tank quite a lot. Inexorable can apply a lot of pressure. CranKy is a very different kind of player, so we'll see how he can handle the shenanigans of Erik. Let's go. Let us go, as we are getting into our next best of 3. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of lane lines, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team New Alliance. It is CranKy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, or the red Zerg player himself from Brazil, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Erik. Here we go, and Kamikaze already opening up with a low ground setup. Okay. okay. Let him cook, Papi. Let him cook. Now, with a low ground setup, I would just immediately assume it's going to be 2x Reaper, but I do know that there are certain racks into factory setups on the low ground that are relatively popular. Juanito Special, he did popularize them many years ago at this point, and some players, they do like to sprinkle them in, but here comes the second SV, and this should be 2x Reaper. There we go. Second Rax is on the way. So 2x Reaper is upon us. I say 2x Reaper, technically Kamikaze can throw down a third Rax in the main. As he's building up. Likewise, across the map, we do have Erik going for his own hatch gas pool, standard opener. Nothing crazy, nothing too wild. Erik is known for his quote-unquote Erik opener, true, which he does actually mix in against Terran, but not here, not this time, not this game. Personally, I'm not too fond of it against Terran, but Erik, he does like to indulge in it from time to time. Meanwhile, we do have MasTeR Reaper on the way. Now, for those that are curious, the goal, the purpose of 2x Reaper is to delay the third. That's the purpose here, is to delay the third base. It's not to really get, you know, critical economic damage or to snipe queens or anything like that. If that was the case, we'd get a third Rax. With only 2 Rax, this is a macro build, and Kamikaze will be expanding. He will expand from here. Again, the goal is to apply pressure to contain the Zerg player, to disrupt their own economy, and to get into a greater economic setup. And this typically leads into a 2-1-1. I say typically, this can lead into a 4-Rax, true, especially on smaller maps. 4 Raxes, we can go for like a third or fourth Rax, rush into stim and go for a very early heavy bio timing. Bjorn, he's explored a lot of different avenues and variations of this in the past. There's that CC for Kamikaze. Kamikaze does poke in. Let's poke in. Oh, getting a link. One Zergling goes down. Nothing major yet. Queens are amassing. Additional Reapers have arrived. And so far, Kamikaze, he is containing Erik. So far, so good. We see Kamikaze, yep, he checks for a third base. If there was one, he could just focus it down. At this point, I would want to see Kamikaze cancel these Reapers. So to achieve what Kamikaze has so far in this game, you only need 3. You only need 3 Reapers, but now he's getting a 4th and a 5th Reaper as well. This is a little bit excessive. Typically, you wouldn't make this many Reapers unless your opponent was expanding to force the cancel. So Kamikaze, he's committing a little bit harder to this, which means his add-ons are going to be more delayed. So he delays his add-ons in favor of extra Reapers. And again, even with these extra Reapers, he shouldn't achieve much more, especially with link speed already done. And Erik coming for the surround. Oh my god. Nice juke. Nice juke. Kamikaze does try to slip away. He gets surrounded. Reapers are going down one after the other. Ay, ay, ay. And Kamikaze, he will lose everything here. And again, remember, he delayed his add-ons in favor of extra Reapers. And honestly, it wasn't quite worth it. He does survive with 2, though. Does survive, does get away. And Erik is going 2 base lair. 2 base lair, gas is being taken. Are we going into mutas? We're taking for this 2 base muta. Okay, 2 base muta here out of Erik. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. I say 2 base muta, and if we were casting a standard Zerg player, it should be 2 base muta, but Erik isn't standard, and something that he does enjoy doing against Terran from time to time is 2 base swarm host. Now, is he gonna embrace that? I mean, I hope so, but we'll see. Links are get across the map. The add-ons are exposed. Deny stim. Oh my god. Yeah, stim is denied. Add-on goes down. Massive pickoff. Ay ay ay. Again, all this was delayed because of the extra Reapers. Reapers are racing back home, going for another add-on, and he's doing it. 2 base swarm it. Let's go. Ay ay ay. But we know our boy, Bobby. We know our Erik. We know him. 2 base swarm host. Oh my god. See, this is why we bring it up. He's an animal. Now he scans though. We just see a scan. Now, if Kamikaze is familiar with Erik, upon seeing the infestation bit, he should know it's 2 base swarm host. He should know it's 2 base swarm host. But I don't know how much of Erik Kamikaze is aware of. Again, they're in the same region. He should know. He should be aware behind this, getting into bio, getting into stim, getting into his bio setup. Burrow's on the way. If you're curious, what is the purpose of Burrow? Now, this should be for, I want to say, 4 swarm hosts. 3 to 4 swarm hosts. And the purpose here is to burrow in different locations and apply pressure and get some key pickoffs here and there to get damage over time and to force out scans. And technically, like, getting Burrow, getting 4 swarm hosts, getting some damage, and forcing out 4 scans is worth it, is efficient. But Erik, he's actually investing quite heavily into these roaches. He's committing a little bit harder here. He's getting a 3rd base, that is true, but Erik, he does cut workers at 2 base saturation. He has invested into these roaches. Roaches, they move out to distract. Once again, Stim is under fire. Tank is on the way. But with these roaches, Erik, he might be able to deny Stim for a 2nd time. Roaches are waddling in. Tank does siege up. Does siege in position. Oh my god. Roaches, they pull away. Now, with these piles, with these Ravagers, I mean, this is not long for this world. Like, this Stim is so exposed, it's so vulnerable, it should be going down. Swarm hosts, they're waddling in. Now, alongside this, do we have Overlord Speed? Okay, no Overlord Speed yet. Queens, they do not move out across the map yet either. Here we go, Swarm hosts have arrived. Going for the Locust Wave. Again, it's only 4 Swarm hosts. We don't intend to commit into any extra Swarm hosts. That's not the purpose of this build. Swarm hosts, they rally in. The factory's under fire. Ay, 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 it's gonna be piled down. Oh my god. Barely survived. Barely saved. And again, Erik, he's just containing. He's just containing. His 3rd base is up and running. He's making more Roach Ravager, which means he's gonna break it. Yeah, he's gonna go for the break. He's gonna go for the bust. Piles, they connect. Ooh, the tank to survive. Swarm hosts, they do survive. They do likewise barely survive as well. On 5 HP. Getting another depot. And Erik, he's not been joining. He's not. Oh, now he is. But for the most part, he's not been joining. Just 2 base saturation. Here comes the Locust Wave. Can he get on top of the tank? Can he force friendly fire? Remember, Stim is not done. Dives on the army. Getting on top of the fire. I'll say take down the tank. Massive pickup. That was the only tank. GG gets called. Erik, he will overwhelm. And Erik, he takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played, Erik. He does break his opponent. Again, interesting setup here. Now, winding it back a little bit, 2A Swarm Host, usually Erik does this as a macro build, where he would break out, he would contain his opponent, and then drone up. But here, Erik, he's a little bit more fluid. He does not drone up. He cuts workers at 2 base saturation. He does use the Swarm Host to support his army more than anything, and he does break through that defensive line. Now, a big part of that success for Erik was just how vulnerable Kamikaze was. Winding it back, I'm pretty sure if Kamikaze went for a standard build, we wouldn't have seen Erik commit, but specifically because of the 2-Vax Reaper, all the production was at the natural, right? The Vaxes were at the natural, the add-ons were at the natural, the factory was also at the natural base, all the production is at the natural. So because of that, specifically because of the opener of Kamikaze, he's more vulnerable to these 2 base all-ins, because if the natural gets broken, it isn't just the economy, it's also the production, right? Like, the production is also there as well. So Erik, upon recognizing that, he committed, he went straight for the kill, went straight for the natural. He was able to camp the production. If you notice, because the factory was forced to lift, only 1 tank, right? Only 1 tank was built. There was no 2nd tank. Without extra tanks, there's no defense. Oh, also no Stim, of course, either. GG, well played. We're getting into game number 2. Getting into game 2, and here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team New Alliance. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Zerg, the Brazilian Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Erik. And once again, Kamikaze opens up on the low ground. Interesting. Now, as they load into Amygdala is a larger map. It is a much larger map, and the map will longer rush distance by ground. Because of that, you could argue that maybe 2 base play is going to be deterred, but for the most part, this looks like once again 2-Rex Reaper out of Kamikaze. Interesting. Now, I do believe that once again he can succeed with this build. What I mean by that is containing Erik, right? I think he can succeed in containing Erik on 2 bases, and that he can deny the 3rd base, but the question is the follow-up from there. as you mentioned, like, I wasn't too fond of the idea of Kamikaze investing into 5 Reapers when he didn't need to, because that did delay the add-ons, that did delay the factory, it delayed everything else behind it. So we'll see if he does cut Reaper production earlier, or if he's able to find more success. Likewise, because it's a larger map, it means that if Erik tries to respond with a 2-base Roach all-in, again, it will take longer to get across the map, and potentially Kamikaze might be better prepared. We'll see. We'll see how this all does unfold. As for now, the 2x Reaper is upon us. Yeah, Reapers are amassing. Kamikaze is soon to move out. And we'll see if he's more successful this time. Now, the initial overload of Erik is going to confirm this, so he's going to dip into the natural. He may want to go further into the main base as well, just to make sure this is not 3-Rax Reaper. So, Erik, you will get an idea of what's going on. Behind this, Queens are on the way, Lings are amassing so far, joining up. Yep, does confirm the low ground setup, does confirm the 2-Rax Reaper. So, Erik, more or less, he's aware of what's going on. That's the expansion from Kamikaze. The first Reaper moves out, and we have a 2nd and 3rd Reaper on the way. He is starting up a 4th Reaper. He does get across the map. Does poke in. So far deflected here by the Lings. He has yet to check the 3rd location. Now he rotates, he does check, he does confirm that there is no expansion. And behind this, he is still making a 4th and 5th Reaper. Okay, so he's committing into 5 again. So he's going with 5 Reapers. He contains Erik. And this time, Kamikaze going straight into a 3rd CC before factory. Very greedy follow-up here from Kamikaze. Last game, I believe he went 3rd CC after the factory. So this does delay Hellions. This does delay the factory. Factory now on the way. Here come the add-ons. Now this time the add-ons are safe, true, right? Because of the spawn location, the add-ons are going to be safe here. They won't be threatened by the Lings. Once again, 2-base layer out of Erik. Once again, Erik, it looks like he will respond once again with 2-base Swarm Host. Now I'm making that assumption just because it's Erik. Technically, he can turn this into 2-base Muta, but I want Erik to be like Erik, you know? He's like his 2-base Swarm Host is very stylistic to Erik, so I'm hoping to see it again, but we'll see. Likewise, we'll see how Kamikaze is able to defend against that. Stim is on the way. Factory, you can see, is further behind. So remember, last game the factory was a part of the wall, right? Last game the factory was exposed here as a part of the wall. This time it's further back, so Kamikaze, he is definitely a lot more attentive to his buildings, to his production. It's also here at the natural, but it is safer this time, so he can make more tanks. So already because of this, I don't expect Erik to 2-base all in. I do expect like an infestation bit. We'll see. The layer is now done. Yep, there it is. Infestation bit's on the way, so 2-base Swarm Host. And just like I mentioned in the last game, very often we do see Erik turn this into a macro build. Last game he did go for the all-in, but this time Kamikaze is less vulnerable. This time Kamikaze doesn't lose his Reapers. This time he saves them and preserves them back at home. In general, I will say that Kamikaze has had a cleaner game compared to game 1. Like, he's saved his Reapers, he has a better position with his production, he can finish Stim a lot sooner as well. I mean, I say sooner, he can actually finish Stim, so this is all better than game 1. Which is why I'm curious to see if Erik drones or not. As Erik, he's spreading creep, he's lining the 3rd base. We have the initial, remember, it's 4 Swarm Hosts, not more than that, just 4 Swarm Hosts alongside Burrow. He is building up some roaches, and with his roaches he can try to apply some pressure to the expansion, to the natural. Once again, he cuts workers here at 2-base saturation. He's fully saturated on 2 bases and 4 gases. 3rd base on the way. Moving out his roaches, getting some infestors. This is the first sign here. He is droning. He's going to drone up. Now, the reasoning for the infestors here is because the infestors keep him safe for when Kamikaze breaks free. From when he moves that across the map, then the infestors can fungal and slow down the push. So Erik, he's getting ready for a longer game. He's going for the gold. Okay, knocking down those rocks. The Swarm Hosts move out. The roaches, they stay at home to deal with the rocks. Banshee's revealed. Erik is aware. The infestors can also help with the Banshee, true. Kamikaze getting into 1-1 upgrades. Third base attempted to be taken. Swarmhost getting in position. He does spot the Banshee. Locust Wave into the main. And ideally you want to spread out the Swarmhost. Oh, as he goes to the bio. Does trade, but will lose the Overlord just barely. Overlord does go down. Meanwhile, we did have a Locust Wave here towards the right-hand side. Ling is borrowed where the expansion would otherwise be. Now he does want to spread out the Swarmhost away from that Ling to force extra scans. And you can see here we have one Swarmhost in the center, we have one towards the left, one towards the top side, and one towards the bottom side. All borrowed, all spread out, and all forcing scans. Behind this, Erik is droning. Yep, Erik is droning up. He does get up to 2, does get up to 5, so 5 Infestors. And again, the purpose of these Infestors are to slow down the buyer push, to buy time. As here comes a Locust Wave. Locust Wave does force friendly fire, almost gets the tank. Oh, can he get it? Oh my god, barely not. Meanwhile, another Locust Wave into the main. Not getting too much damage. Now going for the SCVs. You can see 2 Locusts, they get 1, they get 2 SCVs. 3. Oh my god. They get 3 workers. There's a first scan on the Ling. Meanwhile, we do have another Locust Wave getting ready. Like, you can see it doesn't take too much to get some value here out of these Locust Waves. And this is worth it. And again, it's only 4. Only 4. Kamikaze is looking for the Swarmhost. Erik, he's droning up on 2 bases, getting into +1 melee, so this should be for Ling Bane. Oh! He may have found one. Here comes a Locust Wave. You can see here that Erik, he purposely doesn't spend this Locust Wave to hide the Swarmhost. Things they move in. So Kamikaze might actually not know where the Swarmhost... Like, he's spread here, he's looking for it, but he doesn't know where it is. Raven's on the way. Erik, I mean, he spots this with the Swarmhost. Oh, the Biles! Oh my god. Okay, Biles didn't quite connect, but does trade with the Marine Army. Takes down the Bio, takes down the Marines. Nice pick up here by Erik. Once again... Oh no! Once again, takes down the Banshee. And Erik, he's on 3 base saturation. He's on 3 bases. Now he's building up his army. He does have those 5 Infestors. Locust Wave now is moving in. And he still has not lost any of these Swarmhosts, but with the Raven, he can finally hunt them down. Finally hunt them down. Yep, Swarmhosts, they waddle away. They get the hell out of here. We'll lose 1, we'll finally lose 2, but honestly, these Swarmhosts, they paid for themselves. At this point, they paid for themselves. This is also why it's important to get the Infestors as well. It's another way to make use of the Infestation Pits. And the tanks are exposed. Erik is moving in. The tanks are on their own. Boys are being pulled. Do we get any fungals? Oh, we do land 1. The Infestors are being targeted down, and he doesn't quite, or does get them. Oh yeah, massive fungal. Ay, ay, ay. Fungal pops off, Bio Army goes down, and the base is broken. GG gets called. Erik, he will break through that defensive line, and Erik will take game number 2 and the series. Whew. GG. Hi, GG, well played. I think this is a better example of what 2-base Swarmhost looks like. Like, game 1 was, if Erik sees weakness, if Erik has a really strong start, he can just turn it into a 2-base all-in with Roach Ravager. Here in game 2, this is what it looks like in a more longer game. How awkward and how frustrating it can be to try to hunt down each individual Swarmhost, how it buys time, how Erik was safe against a bio push in case Kamikaze got frustrated. So if he got frustrated, if he just sent everything across map, then there are 5 Infestors to shut down the Bio Army. And again, because the Bio Army was looking for the Swarmhost, the tanks were exposed, and he saw everything with his army, with his Swarmhost even. He had all the vision. With that, GG. GG, well played. With that, Erik, he will advance on to the Grand Finals, where he's going to be faced off against MasTeR in that best of 5. Let's go. Let us go. So we're setting up for those finals. Just catching up with the chat. 2-base mute is too ordinary for Erik. It's true. It's too mainstream. It's too mainstream. It's aye. Now I did ask Erik about that build. If for those that are curious, he also feels like the build is a little bit stronger. Fun fact: Erik used to do this 2-base Stormhost build, a year ago, like maybe even over a year ago, before the patch to the Infestor, where you actually had to research pathogen glands to get energy. Since then, now you no longer need that, so the Infestor does spawn in with enough energy for a fungal, so it does feel like it is safer to do this build, because once the Infestor spawns in, bam, you have a fungal, so you're a little bit safer against like a 2-on-1 or like earlier bioaggression. So just a little safer in that. But he also told me that it's very like micro intensive, because you need to be very intentional with how you use the swarm host. You need to borrow your lings, you need to spread creep. Like there's a lot going on. There's like a lot of APM required, and he said that like if he feels like a little bit groggy, if he's not at 100%, he doesn't go for it. Like it's hard to pull off. But regardless, GG, well played. That leads us into our next series, into the grand finals. It's going to be best of 5 between Erik and MasTeR. Shouldn't be a surprise. MasTeR is a very, very strong Protoss player in the Latin American region. I would say he's the best Protoss in Latino America. You can make an argument for Mutes. It's hard to say just because they never play against each other, but Mute and MasTeR, they're top two Protosses in Latin America. And MasTeR is one of the players here in the Brazilian region that can threaten Erik. Like when I think of the best players in Brazil, I think Erik for the Zerg, I think MasTeR for the Protoss, and I think Inexorable for the Terran. And these are the 3 players that usually contest against each other and take maps and take series and kind of vie for that #1 spot. Unfortunately, Diego Kellezer, he's very inactive. He's very inactive nowadays, so he's not as much of a factor. And Shakti, he also did retire. He plays every now and then. But for the most part, it's like Erik, MasTeR, and Inexorable as a trifecta. And we will need a moment to set things up and to get ready for the finals. We're going to be going on a short break. Take this time, get some snacks, get some food, get some water, and we'll be back soon for the finals. See you guys in a couple of minutes. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals here of Code for Giants Cup number 22, your bi-weekly dose of Brazilian StarCraft. Whew, we're here, we are back, and we are looking to jump into our best of 5 grand finals here between Erik and MasTeR. I couldn't have put it better myself. Erik versus MasTeR is like the Brazilian Dark versus Hero. 100%. Where Dark and Hero, they would play in week after week after week of finals in open tournaments like the KSL or ESL Open Cup Asia. They would play so often. Likewise, Erik and MasTeR as well. And it makes for a really interesting series because on the one hand, I think Erik really thrives against standard players. He really thrives against players that are maybe a little bit more unfamiliar with his playstyle. MasTeR is very familiar. just like Hero and Dark, where they know all about each other, MasTeR and Erik as well. So it can lead to some mind games. It can lead to a lot of like metagaming and mind gaming between the two players as well. I think infamously, I mean, we'll get into it, especially on larger maps. MasTeR, for example, he often blindly makes Phoenixes against Erik. And not against any other Zerg player, but he blindly makes Phoenixes against Erik because Erik is very fond of going mutas, for example. And because Erik is fond of going mutas, because he knows his Phoenixes, like he switches into like Corruptor or something crazy, and we see this back and forth. Like there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that goes into these two as they face off, but I'm ready. I'm excited as always. We are jumping into game 1, jumping into ley lines. Let's go. Let us go. Is there an Erik lore explanation going on? Pappy, all you need to know, what does Erik mean? It means endurance, righteousness, intellect, and kangaroo. The F in Erik stands for fear, Pappy. Let's go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Erik. Whew, here we go. So to jump into our best of 5, and again, these two players do often go back and forth. I believe both Erik and MasTeR are already confirmed for the offline events. Of course they are, but I believe they're already confirmed for the offline event that is happening in June. So look forward to seeing some Erik and MasTeR action there. I believe Inexorable should also be confirmed, but we'll be getting to the details of that over the weekend. As I believe today, Cosmos is actually going over the, I believe he's going over the seeding, and I believe Cosmos is constructing the group stage. So I believe he's constructing the group stage, and we should be seeing groups over the next couple of days. For now, we do have a hatch first. It's going to be hatch into spawning pool here from Erik. And once again, Erik, he does go for delayed gases. MasTeR will try to chase the drone. Erik, he's going to be setting up here on the low ground, and the probe is in position again. Oh, MasTeR, he blocks, he delays, he knows. No. And this is what I mean. Erik, he's going for the Erik opener, going for the macro hatchery, and MasTeR, he is aware of the opener, he's aware of the build, and he does delay. He does delay it. It still gets thrown down, but it gets delayed by a couple of seconds as Erik is setting up with his macro hatch on the low ground. So it was hatch pool into hatchery into delayed gases. So delayed gases here from Erik. Now the downside here means that, of course, late link speed for Erik, but what he will have instead is he will have extra larva here is going to be available. Likewise, he will have extra creep being spread as well, and he can also save an overlord. He can delay his overlord, he can preserve it, because of course the hatchery does provide extra supply. So there's a lot that comes into this initial opener, this initial build, and we'll see if MasTeR can try to punish this. Now, the other downside of this build, to be able to afford such a fast macro hatchery, you do delay your queen production. So you only have one queen. The second queen is going to be delayed. The third queen also is delayed even further as well. We can see Erik, he does go for his third base just as the macro hatch is finishing up. So again, he does prioritize another expansion instead of queens. Like again, we're skipping queens here in favor of all these bases and all these hatcheries. Meanwhile, Stargate opener out of MasTeR. Standard play. The first adept does move out. Meanwhile, Lings, they move in for a scout. Now again, the most difficult part about this opener and about this build is keeping up with the first wave of adepts, the first and the second adept as well. So far does Sven Shade, so far Erik is keeping up. That's also why he keeps the first queen here on the low ground at the natural to engage ahead of time to spread creep. And again, creep spread is going to be boosted as well because the added creep from the hatchery and now the added tumor. Well, double def does push in. Erik keeping up. Does make an extra wave of lings. So far, so good. We do commit to the shade. It does commit. He gets one. Gets one drone so far. He's going to get a second drone. Lings are coming in for the surround, and the drones are going to be left idle here. 4 drone kills. Now, he will kill all the adepts, but that's a very strong start, getting up to 5. Again, Erik did leave his workers idle here for 1 second too long, and so far, a good start for MasTeR. He does take initially an economic lead, and the Oracle's moving out. Now, it's going to be on Erik to keep up with this. The spores are on the way. Another reason why you can get away with a low queen count, for those of you that remember, in the latest patch back in October/November of last year, the spores have been buffed, and now the spores do extra damage to these Oracles. So you can get away with a lower queen count against Oracle defense in the early game. So against these like double and triple Oracle openers, you can get away with a lower queen count. Meanwhile, there's going to be an earlier Twilight Council out of MasTeR. MasTER setting up for what looks to be almost a 2-base all-in. Oh my god. Again, we get 2 more gateways. Okay, that's going to be 4 gates in total. We have a Robo Twilight Council. This can lead into Charge. It can lead into early Adepts. Oh god, speaking of Charge, we're going into a Temple Archives, into Archons. So Charge of Archon here from MasTER. Say Charge of Archon. This looks to be an Archon drop opener. Yep, there we go. So the Prism moves out. It's going to be for High Templar across the map. MasTER is expanding, but MasTER, he's going to be delayed. Oh my god, barely not. Whew, MasTER, he saves the probe. 3rd base is on the way. Back at home, Erik is throwing down his Roach Warren. Now, Erik, he is getting SimCity here going, so if it was Adepts, he would be able to wall off here completely at the natural base, at the natural ramp. But as we can see, it's going to be the Archon drop instead. Now, this is a build that is very niche. It's a very niche build here from MasTER. Again, it's not an all-in. It's not an all-in. The way this works is that the Prism moves out, and we warp in High Templar. We go for Archons across the map to hunt down Overlords and hunt down Queens. And even drones, and I mean anything we can. So the Prism moves out for the Archons. Likewise, Erik, he is building up his Roaches. He's now getting his next set of Queens. So again, he delayed Queen production, but now we have the 4th Queen on the way. Lair as well. Here come the High Templar. And I believe Erik, he didn't see this. He did not see this coming his way. Erik, he does have Roaches to defend, but he needs to get in position. As MasTER's moving in. Erik has been redroning, resaturating. Erik, he does spot the Prism. He knows. Does head towards the bases. Alas, I say he knows. There we go. The Roaches, they do respond. Erik, he pulls away. Pulls away in time. Oh! So it's where the Prism does lose any drones yet. Prism into the main base. Erik trying to keep up. Once again, drone's going to be going down. He gets 1. He gets 2 drones so far. Gets 2 workers. So far, no major damage, but what's important here is that this is doing 2 things. One, it's getting scanning information. Like, he sees the lack of gases here at the 3rd base, for example. He sees the Roach production, of course, as well. And it also keeps Erik busy, while MasTER saturates his 3rd base. And it's important that he does this, just because, if you remember, this 3rd base is late. This is a late 3rd because of the early gateways and the earlier tech. So MasTER, he has some catching up to do economically, as he sacrificed his economy for the Archon drop. So there's a bit of a give and take here. MasTER, he does pull away. Erik likewise keeping up, getting into +1, getting into Roach speed. We see MasTER denying creep. Again, nice damage here with the Archons. He's not getting any drone kills or any Overlords, but he is at least getting some tumors. Getting value here out of the Archon drop. Behind this, going into Charge. Storm is on the way as well. Gateway Explosion behind this. MasTER is building up. Meanwhile, Erik is going from Roach Ravager into Ling Bane Roach Ravager. We have the Baneling Nest on the way. Now, something that Erik is very fond of in this matchup is going into Mutaplay, especially against something like an Archon drop. There is potential, but what I will say is that Erik, he did lose a lot of drones early on. Remember, he lost 5 drones to the Adepts, so Erik doesn't have the best economy to actually get into something like Spire Play and like Mutaplay, so he doesn't quite go for it. Instead, he's committing to a ground army instead. Now we can see Erik, he does get up to 3 base saturation. He's on 69 workers. Now he's just focusing purely on Ling Roach production. We have the 4th base on the way for now, just for Larva. He's teching though into the Infestation Pit. So tech is on the way, but Erik, he's pushing. And we'll see what he can get done, because I see High Templar. Storm is finishing, that is true, but this army is looking very, very, very vulnerable. Very vulnerable so far. Erik, he pulls away, he rotates, he is droning. Getting up to 75 workers. Again, taking up towards Hive. I say Hive, this could be towards either Infestor or Swarm Hosts. I mean, I want to say Hive, but we'll see. For now, MasTeR is moving out. Erik, he's ready for this. A lot of this will come down to the storms. There are Ravagers. Ravagers to defend. Okay, there we go. Ravagers, they do morph in. Oh, Basil's thrown away. Bailing speed is still a ways off. No bailing speed yet. MasTeR pushing in. Let's move in. Storms, they turn back. Working towards the mineral line. So we're still waiting for bailing speed, finishing up in a couple of seconds. Oof. And you can see Erik, he's baiting out these storms. There's, I want to say, 2 storms left. As there we go, there's one of the final storms. There we go, that was the final storm. No more storms. And bailings, they can soon be activated. They're rolling in. But there are so many immortals. Yeah, that might just be too much. Bailings, they crash into the Zealots. They shut them down. The Stasis pops up. And Erik, he almost breaks this army. Almost. Now, MasTeR, he's out of storm. Like, there's only Zealots, Archons, and Immortals, but again, that's what, 6 Immortals. 6 Immortals left over. Still a very, very close fight. Still very intense. Stasis runs out. Erik, he does pull away. Oh, Biles, they connect. Oh my god. Biles, they connect. Zealots, they bust into the mineral line. So Erik, he's holding on. He's holding. Biles, they graze the army. Erik, he kites back. The base does go down. Massive pickup. On the Biles. Up the Prism. Oh my god, Prism goes down. Massive pickup. But again, the Immortal count is getting higher and higher. Like, that's the biggest issue here is the Immortal count. We're up to 8 Immortals. Meanwhile, you see one Archon fall. He gets 1, he gets 2. Takes out one of the Immortals as well. Nice pickups. Very nice Biles. And Erik, he holds. Erik, he holds on. He does double expand behind this, but he is stuck on a 3-base economy. He has limited lava production as well. And MasTeR, he does escape with 7 Immortals. Getting up to 9. Jesus. Getting just massive Immortal. Getting up to critical massive Immortals. And meanwhile, we do have the Hive on the way. Hive is being researched. Erik, he does triple expand. And Erik is still building up, still on Lingbane Roach Ravager. But it's so difficult to engage into this massive Mortal High Templar army. It's not easy. Now, with the Hive, it does come Vipers, and with Vipers, we can abduct or Blinding Cloud. True, like, there is potential with Vipers, but Erik needs time. He needs time to build up those Vipers. Meanwhile, MasTeR, he now takes a 4th base. Now, the one saving grace for Erik is that MasTeR's 4th base is late. This was basically a 3-base all-in. Like, this is essentially a 3-base all-in for MasTeR. This 4th base is heavily delayed, so he doesn't have the best economy either. But the army, I'm afraid to... How many Immortals? 10. Soon to be 11. 11 Immortals. Fleet Beacon's on the way. That's going to be for Skytoss. MasTeR moves out. Erik trying to keep up. Supplies are similar. I do favor MasTeR in this next fight, depending on the storms. It's going to be on Erik to try to buy some time for more reinforcements. Zealots, they do hit the right side. Base under fire. Erik, he responds with some of his army. At the same time, going for a Link counterattack, going for a Link run-by. MasTeR's keeping up. Oh, Erik, he barely saves... Actually, 19 HP. Barely saves the expansion. Likewise, getting ready for a Bathing run-by. Erik hoping to distract. Erik, he moves in on the right-hand side. Keeping MasTeR's attention on him. Meanwhile, here come the Bailings. Storm on the main army. Ooh, Stasis goes off. MasTeR defends. Alright, does defend. Hive is now done for Erik. Still not yet embracing any Vipers. Still trying to push in. Erik, he's maxed out, so is MasTeR. Ooh. Storm pops up. One Archon goes down. Aliens are making their way into the mineral line. Oh, can he get in? He can make it through. No major damage though. Takes down 5. Oh no! Oh my god, one more Bailing. Water Mass! So close. 5 probes go down. And here comes the next wave. Next set of Bailings, forcing out storms. Oh my god. Again, Erik has to be so careful. He has to preserve these Bailings. Once again rolling in. And they do go for the High Templar. Most High Templar do go down. They all go down. And now no more storms. But the Immortals, they hold their own. Erik, he needs more support. Oh! Have a little bit of mismovement there. Roach Ravager going to be going down. At the same time, Zealot on my left-hand side. And MasTeR, he's pulling Erik apart. MasTeR, he has done it. He has broken Erik's back. Whew. Again, a very intense fight, very intense engagement, but it's so important that MasTeR, he preserve those Immortals over time. Getting up to 10 Immortals. And MasTeR, he's done it. He has done it. Erik, he barely did not get into that mineral line, didn't touch the economy. Base goes down. And MasTeR, he's rolling in. He's rolling, or snowballing out of control. Erik, he attempts to run by, but alas, won't achieve too much here. As Erik trying to hold on. Now we have the Spire on the way. We have Adrenal on the way. I say it's not going to help, Pappy. It's not going to help. Not like this. As MasTeR, he breaks through the 4th base, now breaking through the 3rd base as well. Still reinforcing. Mothership has arrived to support. Just the Mothership. No other committed Sky Tosser yet. The carrier's on the way. And again, at this point, Erik, he has been broken. GG gets called, and MasTeR, he will take a lead in the series. He will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Also, oh my god, before I forget, big shout out in the chat to Paul the Dutch, Pappy. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Thanks so much for supporting. Did subscribe during the break, so I do apologize for not giving notice, but thank you so much. As MasTeR does take lead, again, a very intense back and forth, bearing in mind that MasTeR, he basically went for a 3-base all-in. He went for a 3-base all-in, and he didn't kill Erik, but he did do enough damage to cripple him, where he was able to trade well enough against the army of Erik. He was able to deny kind of proper saturation. Erik, I will say, he was a little bit late to rebuild his bases and get a 4th and 5th and 6th base, so he was stuck on a 3-base economy a little bit longer, and he had a really hard time recovering after that first push. Whew. But again, very intense there between the two players. Now we're getting into game number 2. We'll see if Erik can bounce back. We'll see if MasTeR can extend that lead. As a reminder, best of 5. Best of 5. Plenty more games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, leading the series 1-0. Representing Team Hellfire, it is MasTeR. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we do have his opponent. We do have the red Zerg player. We have the Brazilian Zerg representing the CranKy Ducklings down in the series, but looking to bounce back. It is Erik. Here we go. Now, what's important here as well is we are loading into a smaller map. Last game was on ley lines. Here we're loading into Ultra Love. Ultra Love is a smaller map. If Erik were to be a little bit more aggressive, then that can be a little bit more favored here on Ultra Love. For now, going for his hatch first. So extract a trick here into hatch first. We do expect hatch first into a spawning pool into a macro hatchery, but we'll keep an eye on Erik. I will say that the macro hatchery is a little bit more awkward here on Ultra Love. I'm curious how Erik does go about it, if at all. So there we go. There's that spawning pool. So again, hatch pool into delayed gases. MasTeR, he is on patrol. He's looking and searching. Erik moving out for his macro hatch. You can see MasTeR is in position. Like again, he's in position to block that macro hatchery. Again, he knows, baby, he knows. Oh, it's going to be thrown down, regardless. It's going to be thrown down. I believe it is close enough to the edge here to block this location off. I believe, I could be mistaken. But there is an opening on the left to make it so that the lava is not going to be impeded. And units won't be delayed. So now we have gases on the way. We're building up. So the same opener here, or a similar opener from Erik, as to what we saw previously. Once again, MasTeR back at home. Going for his own gate expanded to Cybercore. Into his Adept Harass. Now, last game, MasTeR, he had a very successful early game. If you remember, he killed 5 drones. He killed 5 drones with his first 2 Adepts. Erik, he barely was unable to keep up with those Adepts and did lose extra workers. We'll see if Erik's defense is going to be a little bit stronger this time. It's going to be cleaner. Meanwhile, Erik, he does go for another hatchery. Gets his 3rd base. Again, did skip his Overlord as hatcheries are about to finish. Once again, Stargate opener out of MasTeR. Now, last game, MasTeR did go Stargate into 2-base Temple Archives, into Twilight Council Temple Archives, into 2-base Archon drop. So we'll keep it on MasTeR to see if he does it again. Let's see if he does something similar. Now, links are cleaned up. Adepts, they move out. And if you remember, these are the 2 Adepts that last game got 5 drone kills. They do move out. Erik, he has 4 lings on the way. He's going to have 8 lings, so 8 lings in total. Is getting a second queen in the main. So far, he's trying to keep up. Adepts, they threaten to shade. Oh! They do shade into the natural. This time, Erik, he pulls away. So far, he hasn't lost any drones. But he's going to lose 1. He will lose 1 worker here, but only 1. Nice surround there from Erik. He shuts down one of the Adepts. He will lose... not another worker. So very clean defense here from Erik, only losing 1 drone so far. But MasTeR's not done. He's not done because here comes the Oracle. Oracle will zoom in. The Spore needs a couple more seconds. Uh-oh. Yeah, it needs more seconds here. Spore was a little bit too late. The second queen has arrived. 1 drone goes down. He gets 2. 3 in total. 3 drones in total. The Oracle takes a lot of hits. But this is still a cleaner defense than what we saw last game. So still a cleaner defense here from Erik. Behind this, once again, on 2 bases, Twilight Council into Robo. This looks like the same build from MasTeR. So, interesting. We do have both Erik and MasTeR going for the same builds as they did in Game 1. This time, Erik has had a stronger start here to Game 2. Oh, as up. Does save the drone. Deflects the Oracle. Does deflect. So Erik, he will be able to drone up a little bit easier here. Evo Chambers on the way. MasTeR moving out with his next 2 Adepts. Erik is here to delay the expansion. Oh! Doesn't get the surround. But he does get the probe. Yeah, the 3rd base is going to be delayed. Nice pick off here from Erik. Gets 1 probe. Gets 2! Oh my god. Takes down 2 workers. Meanwhile, there's that Temple Archives again. Archon drop here from MasTeR. Erik, he moves in, once again delaying the expansion. As finally it's being thrown down. And MasTeR moves out. Back at home, Roach Warren is complete. So Erik, he has his Roach Warren. Evo Chamber for +1. And again, yeah, there is enough room. There is barely enough room there for the units to move out. So Erik, he gets another probe. Gets another worker. Archons are moving in. We have 9 roaches on the way. And they should pop out just in time. Oh. Yeah, workers, they pull away as well. And remember, even though mining time is being denied here, this is still better for Erik. Ooh, as Adepts shade into the natural, getting 4 drone kills. Nice damage here from MasTeR. Getting 4, getting 5 workers. Yeah, Erik, he was distracted here by the Archons. Nice damage here from MasTeR. And again, MasTeR, he needed damage because of how late this 3rd base is. This 3rd base, it was already late because of the build itself, because of the earlier tech, but even more delayed because of all the Ling aggression. So MasTeR, he had to get some damage, just get 5 drones. Archon drop moving in, getting an Overlord. Meanwhile, Erik, he is getting into his own Roach Ravager once again. Saturating his bases, getting into another expansion, a 4th base on the way. Now, if you remember, a lot of the last game did hinge on the assault at the 4th, right? It was the MasTeR that was able to trade well enough at the 4th base and commit into his 3-base all-in. If it's the same build, now Erik has a better idea what's going on. Last game, he droned up to 74, if you remember. He went up to 74 workers. And then the defense happened. And we'll see if Erik drones up harder earlier, or if he cuts workers sooner instead. Oh, he's going for the all-in. Let's go. We have the answer. He does cut workers. So last game he droned up to 74. This time droning up to 61. He will cut workers here on 5 gases. So 5 gases in total, massing up roaches, massing up his, not even queens, just mass roach moving out across the map. Overlord speed is done. And he's going for a roach drop, not even a German taxi with queens. Okay, this is different. Let's go. So we get a massive doom drop of roaches into the main base. MasTeR, he moves out towards left hand side. MasTeR, he will miss the dropper lords. He'll miss the doom drop. And again, MasTeR, he's still building up. Storm is done in 10 seconds. You can see Immortals at the natural. We have the High Templar at the third. Roaches, they move in to distract. And the main base is exposed. And we'll see what Erik can get done. So Erik, he pokes in, takes the Storm to the face. One Archon does get targeted. Nicely done. Erik, he pulls away. Roaches, they do get into the main. Going for the production, going for the pylons potentially as well. Oh! As they take down the Zealot. But they catch High Templar. MasTeR gets distracted. One High Templar goes down. Ooh, the Storm is brutal though. At the same time, Roaches, they take down the mineral line. They take down the Robo. Massive pickoff. We spoke earlier last game. A big issue here for Erik was the Immortal production, but one Robo goes down. There's one Robo left. That will delay, that will deter the Robo production here. The Immortals for MasTeR. Robo goes down. Templar Archives. All the tech is forfeit. And MasTeR losing everything back at home. Tries to commit, loses all the High Templar, no more Storms. Zealot, they do bust into the mineral line. Zealot, popping off. Meanwhile, everything's depowered in the main. Oof. Another High Templar goes down. And what's the anti-air looking like? There's no anti-air, we can just pick up and leave. Fourth base does fall. So MasTeR does get some damage done here. He gets 5 drones, he gets the expansion. But MasTeR, he lost the Temple Archives, the Twilight Council, the Robo, delayed upgrades. And the expansion. He's on 2 bases. He's stuck on 2 bases. He's oversaturated. Drop lords, they come back in. Again, limited anti-air. There's 1 Archon and 1 High Templar that shoots up. And Erik, he's maxing out. He's maxing out at this point. And you can see that if you do the same build 2 games in a row, like Erik, he has a much crisper response here. Recognizing how vulnerable MasTeR would be. Does threaten another drop. Doesn't quite go for it. MasTeR, he's stuck in the main. He has to keep supplying the main base, I should say. Erik moving in. Takes down the Zealots, takes down the Archons. And Erik, he will just shut this down. He'll just overwhelm. There's just too much Roach Ravager. And again, just really decisive play from Erik going into the main base when he did. Going for the Dropper Lords. Denies the warp in. Takes down the Twilight Council. And GG gets called. Erik, he will tie up the series 1-1. We have a back and forth. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very interesting style here from Erik. Again, just having a much stronger reaction and stronger response to the initial Archon drop opener. Cutting workers at 61, just committing there into that Doom drop. And also distracting at the same time. And it was just so crucial he was able to snipe the Robo, that he sniped the Temple Eye. Like, he sniped so much tech in the main. And of course, depowered the production as well. It was a crippling damage. And that leads us here into game number 3. And at this point, as the series unfolds between the players, I would imagine that MasTeR is going to mix it up. I would imagine that now is not the time to go for the same build and to open up Archons. We'll see. We shall see. As we are loading into game 3, going to be loading into Frostline. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss player from land of Brazil, representing Team Hellfire, being forced into a tied series. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Erik. Here we go. As we are going to be settling in. So far, so good. As Erik, he does go for his initial hatch gas pull, standard opener out of Erik. I'm sorry, I have to say, my mistake. I'm so used to saying hatch gas pull. It should be hatch pull into hatchery here from Erik. His standard opener. There we go. As MasTeR going for the gate expand, we'll see if MasTeR is able to successfully delay the opener. We've seen both in game 1 and game 2, MasTER's been trying to pylon block, or I say pylon block, to probe block the expansion, the macro hatchery. So probe is being active. Erik here will soon move down to the low ground. Will soon move down. You can see, yep, MasTeR is on patrol. Once again, trying to delay. Erik, he does go for the gas instead. Okay. Erik, he will mix it up a little bit here. Going for a faster gas geyser. The probe responds. MasTeR's like, hold up, where's the drone? he's like, where's your hatchery? What's going on? Does move in. He will confirm earlier gases. Now the drone is on the way. And Erik, oh, he will actually not go for the macro hatchery yet. Once again, MasTeR is looking for it. And Erik, he opens up double queen. Oh my god, into Jesus. Okay, so Erik, he does play with some mind games here. MasTeR, he is searching for that expansion, for that macro hatchery. It doesn't exist. Erik, he does go hatch first into spawning pool, into gas, into very early roach warren. He's going for a roach rush. So he's going for an early roach push. MasTeR, he has no idea. Oh, I mean, MasTeR, he is aware that something's wrong. He knows that something's wrong, something is amiss. He doesn't know exactly what's going on. MasTeR is in the dark. Now, this shouldn't be an all-in. I believe this should be like, say, 4 or 5 roaches early on to move out across the map to apply some pressure. We'll see if Erik is more committed than that. See how committed Erik is going to be. He's got 4 roaches so far. Overlord does pop. He has a couple of things to reinforce. He does scout the initial opener. Stargate here. He's making more roaches. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's making more roaches, not droning up. An up, say, threat in the shade. And they will get 1 drone up, potentially. Yeah, 1 drone goes down, roaches, they pop out, and now he knows. Now he knows. Instant Void Ray. Void Ray's on the way, shield batteries are on the way. MasTeR, he saw the roaches, he's trying to get ready for the all-in. He's setting up. Erik has been scouted. Queens are already across the the queens are already across the map. Let's go, baby, let's go. The queens, they're rallying out, they're already almost there. Lings, roaches, everything gets sent across. We get a random drone as well. I don't know if that's intentional, but sure, we get a drone. Let's go. And you see MasTeR responds with a mass wall of cannons, or sorry, of shield batteries, of pylons, more shield batteries on the way, and void rays about to pop out. The queens will help against that. Oh, he's going for creep. Let's go. That's why the drone is here. Yeah, it does go for the creep spread. Oh, but the void ray does focus on the tumor. Gets 1 tumor and barely doesn't get the other. Roach is pushing in, going for the pylon. But prismatic alignment is activated, and with that 1 void ray, that may be enough to hold on. Honestly, just a really strong response here from MasTeR. Oh, clutch transfuse. Very clutch transfuse. Another drone pops in for the spore. Yeah, spore is on the way. Pylon goes down. Lings, they're busting in. The shield batteries are out of energy. But he does lay the pylon. Pylons are falling. Piles are connecting. Shield battery does get targeted down. And Erik is forcing his way in. He gets a surround. Oh, he surrounds the Stalker. Down to 1 Stalker, 1 Adept, and 1 Void Ray. The Biles, oh, they connect. Once again on the would-be shield batteries. Queens, they're getting low. Yeah, he has to back off. He has to back off. The Queens are getting low on HP. 1 Ravager gets caught. Erik trying to slow things down a little bit. Does pull away. Preserves the Queens. Meanwhile, 2nd Void Ray has arrived. The Cybercore is going to be targeted. This is okay damage, but it looks like MasTeR's going to hold. Yeah, MasTeR's going to be able to hold on here. As things are trickling in, but Erik, he's running out of steam. Oh! Also connect. Oh, Void Ray goes... Oh my god, Void Ray goes down. Gets 1 Void Ray. Nice pick off. Likewise, going for the other. Files, they do connect. Going for the shield battery. Behind this, Erik is droning. Erik is droning, but these are late drones for Erik. This is not enough damage. It was impressive what he achieved, but Erik, he needs more. Does get the Cybercore. Erik, he evacuates. He's trying to pull out. Takes down the Zealot. And MasTeR, he is secure. He is now secure here on 2 bases. And yes, MasTeR's tech is a little bit awkward, and he has to try to build back up. But MasTeR, he's on 32 workers. Erik still has more droning to do. Does have more Ravagers, true. Okay. Morphs in more Ravagers. Going for the gateways. I feel like these queens have to get the hell out of here. As we have a 2nd Void Ray on the way. Does take down a gateway. He gets 1. Oh my god. Clouds connect. Flush Transfuse. Queen's going for the Void Ray. As they turn the army back, some of the piles do connect. They handle one of the Stalkers. And MasTeR, he will hold. He will hold on. Now, when it comes to the setup back at home, Erik, he's up to 30 workers here, 32 drones. Every Ravager gets targeted down. Saves the Ravager. Let's go. But he's getting up to 36. Third base is on the way. This is a decent setup here for Erik, but my biggest concern here are the Void Rays. These Void Rays, they can go uncontested. What's the anti-air for Erik? He's on how many queens? 2. 2 queens. Spores are now on the way. Queens, they do come together. Oracle moves in. Spore will finish. Now, with the help of the spores, the queens should be okay. As you can see, Erik, he does have a third spore. Moving in position. Erik needs to save that third base. I'm not sure if he can. Yeah, there's prismatic alignment. And Erik, he can't afford to lose this. Stalkers are moving in as well. Queens, they do engage. They're getting caught off of creep. Lings are trickling in. Spore will burrow. Extra queens have arrived. Erik holds. Whew. Okay, Erik, he does barely hold on. He's got 4 queens. He has a Spore. He has MasTeR as well. Takes down the Void Ray. And we have a game. we have a game, papi. Yeah. Lair is on the way. Erik, he has to drone up as hard as possible. Likewise, MasTeR getting a third base. Creep is, I mean, there's still that one tumor. Creep is still somewhat active. And Link Speed just finished. Link Speed just completed. Erik, he sees the army. Where do we go from here? Engaging with the Stalkers, gets us around. And these Stalkers, remember, there's no blink. He gets 1. He's going to go for massive Pigos. 4 Stalkers do fall. Links from here, they peel off into, they attempt to get into the mineral line. Stasis goes off. Links, they head back over. Getting a couple workers. I mean, these are efficient pickoffs here from Erik, from these Lings. But he won't get economic damage, and he won't delay the expansion. So the game will continue. Erik gets the hell out of here. Does pull out. Behind this, saturating is 4th. His 3rd. Saturation for MasTeR is a little bit delayed, but there we go. Here comes the big transfer. As the dust settles, I do want to favor MasTeR here. Like, MasTeR, he is on a higher probe count. He's now getting up to 3 bases. He has charge on the way. He's going for the War Prism. This tells us that MasTeR is not macroing. Like, he is getting a 3rd, that is true, but MasTeR is going for a big timing attack here with charge, with Archons, with a War Prism. And if Erik is joining up too hard, if he joins up too much, he's going to be in trouble here. Even without it, Erik is going into Ling Hydra. I'm not too confident in this army composition against what MasTeR is going for. Like, roaches are going to be needed to have something a little bit more robust against all the zealots. MasTeR moves out, and Erik, he does spot the War Prism. He knows the army's coming. Erik, he threatens a run by. He does get denied. MasTeR, he does break out. Erik behind this, massing on more Hydras. Erik, he's about to get Hydra speed, but he does not have Hydra range. More Zealots are warping in. And Erik, the Hydras are getting caught out. The Hydras are going to be going down. Losing 1, 2, 3 Hydras. Brutal losses there for Erik. Every unit counts. The expansion is going to be denied. Oh, MasTeR pulls away for now. Waiting for reinforcements. Erik is buying time. Buying more time, building more Hydras. Expansion does complete. Erik dancing with the army. More Hydras getting caught. Clutch Transfuse. And Clutch Transfuse. Lings, they try to collapse on in. But these Zealots, they trade so efficiently. Yeah, they break through all those Lings. They're getting some of the Hydras. And MasTeR, he has broken through. Again, Ling Hydra is just such a fragile composition. It's so fragile. Erik does hold. Impressive. Erik, he holds on. He saves the expansion. It was very costly, though. Cost a lot of Lings. And Erik, where are we going from here? Okay, going to Ling Bane Hydra. So Ling Bane Hydra out of Erik. Meanwhile, MasTeR does pull away. MasTeR does preserve the Archons. And again, in general, I do favor MasTeR's composition, like going Archon, Charge a lot, and Storm as well. Like, all these things are good against light-based units. Against Link Main Hydra. Now, there is a chance, if Erik is able to get a surround, if he's able to surround the army, if the Bailings get on top of the High Templar, then Erik can take a fight. But he's heavily reliant here on having that kind of setup. Otherwise, MasTeR, he can just walk over his opponents. He's rolling on up. Erik distracted by the charge lots. And Erik even gets supply blocked. Now, a tech path that Erik can go down, which will help him here, is Lurker tech. If he's able to get into Lurkers, he can try to slow the game down. You know, Erik going for a massive Link run by. There's plenty of charge lots. Yeah, the Zealots, they defend. Like, there's just no answer to these Zealots. Or to the army of MasTeR. Erik, he pulls away. He does need those Bailings. Zealots into the main. And Erik is just being pulled apart at this point. As MasTeR, he heads towards the southern bases. Erik, he defends the main, but the middle line is going to go down. The charge lots. They kill everything back. Ay, ay, ay. Does at least bring down the War Prism. And there's little Bailings, but Erik is forced all in. Like, he will lose his northern 4th base, the southern 5th base as well. Losing expansion after expansion. Erik trying to keep up. Oh. And cleans up all these Zealots. I'll shut them down. Likewise, ready for his own Bailing run by. Now, there is potential here. If he's able to get into a mineral line, if he's able to get into a base. Erik being very cavalier with this army. There is a 1 High Templar to defend. Bailings are rolling in, but if MasTeR reaction time, he should be okay. As Bailings, they do slip into the mineral line. Storm pops up. Bailings are dealt with. Erik going right down mid. And he runs into more High Templar. There's storms everywhere. The storms. Yeah, storms, they will connect. They shut down the Hydras. And there's still plenty more storms where that came from. There's how many? There's 7 High Templar. So many storms. Erik, he can't really engage. Morphing in more Bailings. Moving forward. Does find what would be soon to be Sky Toss. Jesus. Bailings, they try to head into the mineral lines. The fleet beacon does go down, so nice pick off when it comes to the tech. Bailings are denied. And MasTeR, he just, I should say that Erik, he just can't fight head on. He just cannot fight the main army. He has to evacuate, has to pull away. Picks up an Archon. Storms on the Bailings. Now the Archon goes down. And Erik, he's just running out of steam. He's running out of army. This is the final forces of Erik. GG gets called. And MasTeR, he brings it back and takes a 2-1 lead. Whew. GG. Does take a lead here. Again, MasTeR, he was able to survive the initial all-in. Again, MasTeR, he had such a strong response making the Void Ray. Like, that was a big moment for MasTeR when he realized that the all-in was coming. Remember, wind it back, it all started with Erik going for a big Roach Queen all-in at the start of the game. MasTeR, he was able to pump out that first Void Ray, get shield batteries up and running, and he did survive, did persevere. And from there, MasTeR was in a better position. Erik, he did try to macro out of it, but he tried to macro out of it into Lingbane Hydra, and unfortunately, because of MasTeR's own army composition, like, he just couldn't really hold his own. Couldn't really hold his own in a longer game. MasTeR did overwhelm, and that leads us here into game number 4. We'll see if Erik can bring it back and force the ace match, or if MasTeR can take it from here. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the blue Protoss player from Brazil, leading the series 2-1, and 1 game away from becoming this week's Code for Giants Cup champion. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, one of our own, representing the CranKy Ducklings. Down in the series, he has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is Erik. Whew, here we go. And again, Erik, he had a very quirky response last game. As a reminder, he did open up he opened up hatch first, hatch pool into an earlier roach horn, into a roach rush. Here, pool first out of Erik. Interesting. Okay, pull first here from our Zerg player. We are loading into Amygdala. Amygdala does have a longer rush distance by ground. I'm curious to see what Erik does with this opener and how aggressive he's going to be, if at all. So pull first out of Erik. Does get the hatchery here on the low ground. Uncontested. Probe is moving in. And from here, Erik, he can make an early wave of lings, and he can try to force an overreaction here from MasTeR. As MasTeR, he scats the pool. There we go, 6 lings on the way. Sorry, 4 lings on the way. Now to 6. MasTER still a gate expanded to Cybercore. Standard response here from MasTER. He should be making the initial Zealot. As there's that macro hatchery. Does get thrown down. Lings move out. And this is a greedy response from MasTER as he doesn't flinch. He doesn't make the Zealot. He's going Adept first. Which means MasTER, he is somewhat vulnerable here. Erik, he checks. He will confirm that the gateway is not researching, not producing. Now he starts a Zealot, but it's so late. I mean, it's supply blocked as well. There we go. Adept is on the way, being thrown out as we speak. Lings, they will be able to move in first. Does he go for the pylon? Does he go straight for the main? Yeah, the boys are being pulled. The boys are here to defend. So far, good damage here by Erik, going for the pylon, going for the probes. Probes are going down. He gets 1, he gets 2. Gets 2 workers so far. Does get 2 workers. Threatens the main base. Oh. Likewise, Erik, he does pull away. So far, good damage. 2 probe kills and denied mining time. It's keeping the Adept busy, and back at home, Erik is droning. Erik is droning on up. Going back for the going back for the pylon. He shouldn't get it though. Adept does arrive, and Erik, he pulls out. So MasTER, he does defend. Did sustain some losses. His tech is delayed. Stargate now being thrown down. Erik does pull out. Now, he does have to make more lings. Again, he forced out all these Adepts, and he has limited defenses back at home. So, more lings on the way. Erik now taking his 3rd base. Building up his army. Adepts are moving out. Now, this early game defense for Erik is going to be very tense. And so far, he's keeping up with MasTER. MasTER, he scouts, he checks for the 3rd base. Does confirm. Stargate is done. Does open Oracle. He's going for the Oracle opener. As MasTER does shade it to the mineral line. Does get 1 drone so far. He gets 1. Oh! I believe. No, never mind. He got the trade with the lings, actually. So drones, they do survive. Adepts are being picked up. Gets 1. And barely doesn't get the other. But Erik holds. Erik doesn't lose any drones. He doesn't lose any workers. So far, solid defense. Behind this, we do see once again a robo on 2 bases. No expansion into a Twilight Council. MasTER, he is once again opening up Archon Drop. He's quite fond of it. I don't blame him. This is a build that a lot of the Polish players are very fond of. I'm talking about Cristiano and Mana. Cristiano and Mana are very fond of this build. Geralt, he does it every now and then. Skillus does it every now and then. Max Packs, he mixes it in like maybe like once a week sort of thing. MasTER does dip in between the bases. Going for the drone, doesn't quite get it. A lot of toll damage there on that Oracle. And here comes that Archon drop. Templar Archives, a Prism is on the way. MasTER is going to be dropping across the map. So Erik, he's being active. Likewise, catching out some workers. Probe goes down, nothing major here. Likewise, MasTeR is still building up, and the Archon drop is coming. Again, all building up towards this Archon drop. Prism is moving in. Erik behind this time not going into Hydras. He's embracing Roach production, taking his gases, droning up quite heavily here on 3 bases. And Erik, he, for the most part, should be aware. Yeah, he knows. He knows. He saw the late expansion and the faster Twilight Council. So Erik is aware that it's the same build. Now, MasTeR is setting up multi-pronged aggression. He has Archons towards the main, and he has Adepts here towards that 3rd base. Erik, can he keep up? As Erik, he does react to the Archons. Adepts a shade into the mineral line. Drone's going to be going down. Gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3 so far. Roaches are keeping up, getting 4 drone kills. At the same time, Archon's going for an extra warp in as well, going to force the cancel. And the hatchery is going to be denied. There's a cancel, dropping into the main. So far, good damage here from MasTeR. Adepts are cleaned up. That was about 4 deaths for 4 drones. Meanwhile, do you see what I see? Erik, he's not droning. Erik, he does take all of his gases. Okay, there we go. I was gonna say, he does take all of his gases, but he's not droning. There we go. He's going for the Spire, going to Muta play. Okay. Going into Mutas. He's building up his Roach army. He can soon be active, but for now, yeah, he's just knocking down those rocks. Opening up the map. MasTeR's Archons were deflected. And MasTeR, he has no idea what's going on. He has not scouted. Now, this is similar to what we saw on Ultralove. If you remember, when Erik went for the massive Doom drop into the main base, something that we noticed, and one of the big weaknesses of this army, is lack of anti-air. There's no blink. There's no blink. There's no stalkers. There are storms, and there are some Archons. That is true. So there is some anti-air available here, but it's very limited. So Mutas, they can excel. They can excel quite well here against this. Of course, the big issue becomes, or the big question becomes, can Erik get into his Mutas in time to harass across the map, or will MasTeR go for his 3-base all-in? Because that's what he's building up towards, a big 3-base all-in with massive Mortal Storm Archons. Who hits first? Erik is doing both? Okay. This is a little bit greedy. Roaches, they do push in. They get caught by the stasis. Again, just keeping MasTeR back home. We have Ling Roach on the right-hand side. We have Roach Ravager on the left-hand side. We have massive drop loads coming in. The Spire is now done. And Erik, he doesn't make any Mutas. Okay, he does. Okay, 5 Mutas. 5 Mutas are on the way alongside the Doom drop. Erik trading well. Picking off Zealots. Yeah, it does pick off a lot of Zealots. Again, MasTeR's the rest of his High Templar on the right-hand side. Wait, is that his only High Templar? He only has 1. Oh my god, only 1 High Templar. Limited storms, and here we go. We see Erik. He does poke in. He backs off, and he's going for the Doom drop into the main. Does go for the drop. Main base once again is exposed. That's where the Robo is. And the question becomes, can Erik snipe that Robo? As Erik is getting ready for, I would say, almost like a tri-pronged attack, or even more than that. Mutas towards the natural, drop into the main, army towards the left, and another army here on the right-hand side as well. There's 4 prongs. This time, MasTeR is ready in the main. Yeah, the main drop is deflected. Mutas, likewise, they run into Archons. Oh, the Mutas are all going to go down. Meanwhile, High Templar are getting picked off. So Erik, he does find success here on the left-hand side. Takes down the Archon as well. Takes down the Archon, takes down the High Templar. Lings, they threaten a dive, drop here into the mineral line. Is this enough though? Again, the Mutas were thrown away, but he might just have enough for a Ravager, where the Immortals, the Immortals are stuck. They're pinned here back in the natural. Oh, Roaches are deflected at the 3rd base. Drop into the main, going for the Robo. As we mentioned, this is the key pickoff here, is sniping that Robo. Erik, he doesn't get it. MasTeR defends. And MasTeR, he's holding. He is holding on now. When it comes to the main army, MasTeR on the one hand, he is holding on, but he is losing High Templar. Every time, every High Templar goes down. Speaking of, no, the High Templar, they get sniped once again. So we're not seeing any storms. The High Templar, they keep being sniped. Erik rebuilding, this time going into 9 Mutas. The Immortal count is a concern. He's up to 6 so far, getting up to 8. 8 Immortals. Main army gets scouted. Drop lords are still a thing. Remember, MasTeR, he has a lot of supply pinned back in the main, ready for the drop. There's one storm. One storm pops off. Mutas are on the way. And we'll see if Erik is a little bit more attentive this time with said mutas. So Erik is trying to break through. Mutas are on the right hand side. Oh. As they pull back home, Erik trading with the army, picking up a decent amount of zealots. Zealots are going down. The longer this goes on, though, the more immortals there are. Erik, he's not harassing. He's banking them up. Okay, Erik. This is very risky. But as he's bleeding out roaches, I mean, he still hasn't droned, by the way. He's still on 3 base saturation, 65 workers, but he has the boosted economy with the gold base. Okay, he has the boosted economy. And you can see he's slowly trading out roaches and just banking on more and more mutas. I see you. Does find the prism. Prism goes down. That's how many mutas? That's going to be 19. 19 mutas for Erik. He is spotted. There we go. We have Archons morphing in. That's going to be a lot of Archons. Mutas, they hit the natural. They catch High Templar. High Templar goes down. Archons as well. He's going to get both. MasTeR ignores it. Yeah, he ignores the mutas. He's going in. Is going for the kill. It's going to be on Erik to slow this down. He has to back off. He has to buy time. Mutas, they take over the natural. Probes are going down. Drop lords towards the 3rd base. Here comes the all-in from MasTeR. And Erik, he base trades. He ignores the army. He ignores the army. He's going for the base trade. The expansions are going to be going down. He takes control of the natural. Gets into the 4th. Drops into the 3rd. And we're just going full base trade mode at this point. Mutas, they're catching reinforcements. Erik, he knocks down the 4th base, now going for the 3rd as well. Again, there's no workers that are able to evacuate. And MasTeR, he does have a terrifying army, that's true. That's a lot of immortals. But Erik, he evacuates as well. He evacuates drones. He's getting a base here towards bottom right. He can get another expansion. Lings, they flood into the main. And MasTeR, he has nothing out on the map. He has nothing out here. He has no probes. Down to 9, down to 7, down to 4. They're losing every worker he has. How many probes are left? 3 probes. They're going down. Yeah, the probes, they don't escape. There's no other buildings. This is all he has. The final buildings. There's a recall. Does recall back into the main. He saves the main base. The natural is going to fall. And Erik, he can always just go back home. He can always just go back home from here. He can deal with what little is left. The prisms are going down. There's barely any anti-air here. Erik, he pulls out. Mutas are moving in. And MasTer's a bit pulled apart. Yeah, the High Templar, they fall one after the other. There's one storm. The storm's not enough. Immortals go down. The mass muta. I mean, again, just ready for the base trade. Or he forced the base trade. He forced the all-in. And Erik, he will hunt everything down. MasTer, he has nothing left. He's down to this. This is his army. He's down to 0 probes. 0 workers. These are all the buildings. Erik finding more immortals. MasTer, he restarts the base trade. Yo, we have Burrow. We have Burrow. And GG gets called. Erik, he will tie up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Very, very intense, very back and forth. Again, I was really concerned with Erik when Erik lost his first wave of mutas. When the first mutas went down, I was very concerned for Erik. I was concerned that that was just too expensive for a loss. Likewise, Erik, he failed to snipe the Robo, but what he was doing, as we were pointing out, was he was sniping High Templar, and he was trading, right? He was trading with the army. He was keeping MasTeR pinned on his bases, and Erik, I did notice he was making mutas, and I was like, where are the mutas? I was like, what's going on? We pan over, and he's banking them up to 19 mutas. 19 mutas. I think he went up to like 27 towards the end, but just banking up mutas back at home. And with that, he forced the base trade. He forced the base trade. Oh, GG, well played. And we're going all the way to the ace match. Let's go. It all ends here. It all ends on Abyssal Reef. Hi. That's stressful, papi, stressful. But I love how the evolution of the series has played out, because again, because Erik has already beaten MasTeR before with Dropper Lords, MasTeR, he was prepared for it. Like straight up, like props to MasTeR, he was ready for the Drop Lords, he was ready in the main base, which is why Erik, he went for Drop Lords plus Mutas. He went for both of them, and it was really the Mutas that were the MVPs of that game, while MasTeR was distracted with everything else. And here we go, we're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire, being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings, as he is one of our own. It is Erik. Hey. So the question becomes, is MasTeR going to open up Archon Drop again? Most likely, yes. Most likely, but welcome one and all to Abyssal Reef. Abyssal Reef is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Is a much larger map. And we'll see how our players do approach this. Here we go. So we are going to be setting up. Likewise, Erik going hatch first, does go hatch pool. We do see MasTeR once again, he's on patrol. He's patrolling, he's looking to delay the macro hatchery. And he does disrupt the builds, at least for a moment. Erik does get up and running. Does get his macro hatchery into his gas geyser. So again, hatch, pool, hatch, gas opener here by Erik. And as we lead into a larger map, this is where something like Mutas are more viable. Like, Muta play is a lot more accessible here on Abyssal Reef, just because how large the map is, how difficult it is for a player like MasTeR to counterattack and to punish Muta play, the amount of room in between the bases as well. So Muta's going to be a viable option here for Erik. But he did just use them last game. Like, again, I think the most interesting thing to me about this series is just how the players have adapted and evolved from game to game to game. Every game, something different, something more unorthodox. It's just different layers here amongst the players. So I would be concerned about Erik trying to go into Muta play here 2 games in a row. So now Erik, he does take his third. Getting his third expansion. Droning up, saturating. It is going to be a Stargate opener out of MasTeR once again. Stargate into Oracle. MasTeR is setting up back at home. Oh god, it's a massacre. I think that comment was about the game on Frostline. Yeah, Frostline was a rough one. That was an attempted Lingbane Hydra against Storm. Charged Archon. It was not a pretty sight. Not a pretty sight on Frostline. From here, though, again, we made it all the way to the final game of the series, the ace match. Let's go. That's all we wanted. We got the most we could out of these two. As MasTeR, this time, for the first time this series, do you see what I see? A third base on time. A third base on location. A third base before any other tech. Okay. Okay, MasTeR, I see you. Now, as a reminder, for those that are maybe tuning in towards the end of the series, every macro game that we've seen out of MasTeR, he has gone for a delayed third into a faster Twilight Council, into Temple Archives, into Archon Drop on 2 bases. But for the first time, he actually goes for his third base on time. Goes for an earlier third into Twilight Council, most likely still into Archon Drop, but it is going to be a more economic variation of Archon Drop. As yeah, the Twilight Council, this should lead into a Temple Archives and a Robo. I say that, no Robo yet, which is concerning to me. This might be Glaive Adepts. Yeah, there's no Robo, no Temple Archives. Delayed Forge? What are we going for? Blink. Okay, Blink-based opener here out of MasTeR. Interesting. So this Twilight Council is really early. This Blink timing is designed to defend against an all-in. Also designed to be aggressive as well across the map. Now the Forge is late, the upgrades are delayed, but MasTeR has potential with these Blink Stalkers. But again, this is a stark contrast to every other game we've seen. This is the first time this series that MasTeR is upgrading Blink. Like, he has not gone for Blink Stalkers at all this series. Meanwhile, which means this would actually be a really good game for Erik to go into Ling Hydra. Like, Ling Bane Hydra can really excel against this style. It struggles against Charge and Storm, but Erik doesn't know. For the time being, Erik, he does see the timing of the expansion, but he's not aware of anything else. Erik behind this, taking his gases, joining up, saturating. Oracle does hit the natural. Erik, he pulls away in time. Does pull away. Taking a lot of gases. Meanwhile, that's going to be a massive gateway explosion. That's going to be an 8-gate setup here on 3 bases. I don't see any gases, and this may just be a 3-base all-in. Oh. We have an 8 gateway so far. We can get a proxy like 9th or proxy 10th gateway. We'll see how hard MasTeR does commit. Erik behind this going to +1 melee. +1 melee, taking more gases, joining on up. Yeah, it's the all-in. He's going for the all-in. The boys are being pulled. Now, these workers here are designed to throw down proxy pylons and proxy gateways, so this should be for a 9-gate 3-base all-in, or again, maybe up to 10 gateways. Yep, there it is. There's a proxy. And we're not joining. We're not joining. We're not saturating. We're not taking gases here at the 3rd. It is an all-in. It's all or nothing for MasTeR. Erik, he is still in the dark as to what's going on. He doesn't see this. Now, Erik, he is making some lings that will help, but he needs roaches more than anything. Or just as much roach ling as possible. As Erik, he's taking Baneley Nest, Infestation Pit. He's taking up, investing resources elsewhere. Erik, he does notice. Now he's aware. Does the army... Oh, Erik, he drones! No! He drones up! Now is not the time for droning. Erik, he does make a wave of workers. Here we go. We have shield batteries alongside this as well. MasTeR is moving in. And again, he has just a massive amount of stalkers. 18 stalkers here to work with. Lings, they just crumble before this. There's not enough roaches, not enough lings. Again, Erik, he was droning, he was taking, he was not ready for the all-in. He didn't see this. Lings, they come in from behind them, but the stasis does shut them down. And the base is going to go down. Yeah, the base will fall. MasTeR, it's his turn to be the aggressor this time. As the all-in has arrived, knocks down the expansion, pushing further in. We do see that MasTeR is taking an expansion behind this, so he can go into charge as a follow-up to reinforce. But he's already done so much. Already achieved so much here, and Erik, he's up against the wall. He's trying to engage. Lanes that come in from behind. The oracles do shut them down. Stalkers move forward. The wilds, they do not connect. Was close. A couple of stalkers do get picked up. Okay, decent engage here from Erik. Picks up a couple of stalkers. A couple of stalkers go down. We have +2 on the way. MasTER still maintaining that stalker army. Okay, so we've got 23 stalkers. It's mainly lings. Oh! Oh my god. Pause, don't quite connect. Nice kiting here from MasTER. You can see the creep is receding, making it more difficult for Erik to engage. And again, on Abyss Reho is getting ready for a longer game, and we do see Erik, he does get on top of the stalkers. Not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4 stalkers going down. Better pickles here from Erik. Oh my god. Whilst they do graze the army, a lot of stalkers do fall. Not bad. Erik taking a good fight. Does take a good fight so far. He's so greedy. He's taking up into a hive. He's so greedy. Hive is on the way. Double expanding, getting a 4th and a 5th base. Ling Ramai moves out. Erik has been greedy, but Erik, he survives. Ooh, he survives the all-in. MasTER, he backs off, and what I will say is that MasTER's tech is late. Now, his upgrades are still decent. He's getting to +2, but what I'm referring to here is no Colossus, no Disruptors, no Storm, no Archons, no Immortals. The first Colossus is on the way. Again, it has no Colossus range, so this follow-up tech here from MasTER has been delayed in favor of the Mass Gateway All-In, which did do a lot of damage, but did not kill Erik. So now MasTER is transitioning. Erik going for a Spire, going into Mutaplay, and an Ultra. Jesus. Going for the Ultra Cavern as well. That's a lot of tech for Erik. It's a lot of tech. Does break out. At the same time, War Prism here towards the bases. Again, it was an impressive defense here from Erik. Does spot on the Zealots. At the same time, Charge also get into the middle line. Oh, 5 drones going down. Mutas will shut down the Prism eventually, as the Spire is still on the way. Spyro's on the way. Now, the problem with mutas in this kind of game state, as opposed to the previous ones, is that we have MasTeR Stalker. Like, there's a lot of anti-air here for MasTeR. So, mutas aren't going to be the end-all be-all like they were previously on Amygdala. They saw potential, but not as much. Kindness Plating on the way. Erik taking up and looking to commit into Ultras. Engage with the army. MasTeR pulls away. Does pull away. Erik's still pushing forward. Zelromite comes back in, once again going from the middle line, distracting Erik. He has to race back home, likewise Zelromite on the left hand side as well. The Zelta pulling Erik apart. Yeah, drones are going down. Main army moves in, the base is gonna fall. That's gonna be 12 worker kills. Ay, ay, ay. A handful of zealots, all it takes to get 16 drones. Oh my Jesus. 16 workers going down. Ultra production has begun. But MasTeR has so much momentum here. Getting 18 drone kills. Gets a full mineral line. And Erik, he teched up quite hard. He's got 6 ultras on the way. Is that gonna be enough? That is a lot of ultras. They will have kindness plating, but they don't have carapace. Ultras are revealed. This choke point is brutal. They cannot move down this ramp. Meanwhile, Zelromite as they continue. Oh. Nice Biles. Biles reconnects, so the first ultra goes down. He gets 1, he gets 2. Again, the ultras, they don't have the best upgrades. They only have +1 carapace. And MasTeR, he is doing it. He is doing his busting into the natural. Pushes into the mineral line. Ultras, they just cannot engage. Not like this. No, they're trying to. The ultras move in. They get a couple of swipes in, but they can be targeted down. Yeah, with just one after the other, the ultras, they do fall. Decent Bailey connections. But MasTeR, he overwhelms. He overwhelms the army. He's got 3 Colossals left over. He's got Mass Stalker as well. A very chaotic game 5 here. Again, ultras was a bold move. But more importantly, Erik, he just really struggled with his economy. As you can see, the Zelromites, they just continue. They just continue. Erik, he's so spread thin with his bases. Just being torn apart economically. That's going to be 17 drone kills. MasTeR moving in. Again, this choke point, this ramp is just brutal being used against Erik. As Erik just cannot engage into that choke point. Ultras, they do what they can. Expansion goes down. Erik going for a massive link counterattack with their oracles back at home. The Lings, they do nothing. They may be forced to cancel. Oh. Yeah, and Erik, he's down to his last legs. He's down to 2 more Ravagers. GG gets called. MasTeR, he will overwhelm, and MasTeR, he will take the series 3-2, becoming this week's Code for Giants Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. MasTeR, he will claim the series. He will take the win. A crazy series going all the way to the ace match, and this final game was a crazy one as well. Bearing in mind, MasTeR, he went for a 3-base all-in. He went for a 9-gate 3-base all-in with MasTeR Stalker, and during the defense, Erik, he was droning. He teched up into a hive. He teched up into, again, the infestation bit, into hive tech, into double expanding, and he survived. That's the most shocking part to me, is that Erik did survive. But I would say that he was a little bit too greedy in the aftermath as well. I was very impressed that he survived the all-in, but then what was he doing? He was taking up into ultras as well, into ultra upgrades. It's a kind of composition that is very expensive. It's very expensive. It takes a long time to really get going, and we saw that if Erik was left alone, he would have been okay. If he was left alone, he would have been able to embrace and get away with that, but we saw that MasTeR was being aggressive. MasTeR, he built up to 1, 2, and then 3 Colossus towards the end. MasTeR, he didn't give Erik time. MasTeR, he was being more assertive, and he was able to punish and break Erik before Erik could really embrace the Mass Ultra, which would have been impressive, but Erik, he was relying on MasTeR being more passive. Just relying on MasTeR being more passive, more defensive. Didn't quite come to fruition. GG. GG, well played, congratulations here regardless, as MasTeR just claimed the series, but Erik, he had a very intense back and forth, And as we mentioned, it's MasTeR and Erik, they often go back and forth, right? They often trade series, they often trade matches. Of course, you know, we wish the best for Erik, and Erik, he played well, Pappy played well. Did go down in the end, but again, it was a fun series, a fun, entertaining series regardless. GG. GG, well played. With that, MasTeR does claim it, and with that, that is going to be the end of this morning's broadcast. A little bit of an earlier or shorter broadcast is what I will say. But regardless, that will be our conclusion. Switching our scenes over, we have the rest of the bracket, we have the rest of our schedule here. There's a lot going on. Okay, from the top, we just finished up our Wednesday morning broadcast. We do have the Pondcast later on tonight, where we do discuss and we do go over all the news in StarCraft. We have Little League Cup on Thursday and Friday, so we have some Little League Cup action. We have Rex April Madness on Thursday evening as well. That's going to be tomorrow. We have the KSL, and do you see that Sunday morning? That is at 3 a.m. KST. That's very early. That's going to be 4 a.m. here. That is the StarCraft Evolution. That is the StarCraft 2 Brazilian Circuit Stage 1. That is the beginning here of the offline event in Brazil. Basically, there is an offline event happening in June in Brazil, where players like Erik and MasTeR and Inexorable, they're all going to be there. But in the lead up to it, we do have the open stages where players can make it into the playoffs. Now, Erik won't be playing this weekend. Erik, he is seeded further into the tournament. These are the early rounds. The early rounds are going to be taking place online, as players, they do try to vie for those offline spots. So yeah, that's going to be over this weekend. It's going to be a 2-day event. It's going to be Sunday and Monday. Oh boy. Otherwise, we have Firegrow Cup, MSO, plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft here on the channel, plenty more Brazilian StarCraft on the horizon. Let's go. Let us go. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Hope you had a great time. Just catching up alive, but time to ladder. I am tempted. I'm very tempted here, unironically. Like, because the cast was a little bit early, it was a 3-hour cast. You know what? I will attempt a ladder. We'll attempt a ladder here, and yeah, with that, we get oh, no. Yeah, the smoge is true. It's time to smoge, Papi. It's time to smoge. That is the universal ladder emote. Oh no. But thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we're going to be live later on tonight with the Pondcast, and I will be going live for only a couple of hours on my personal stream with some StarCraft 2 ladder. I don't get to ladder too often. My last ladder session was like a week ago, I think. 6 days, not too long, 6 days ago. 6 days ago was my last ladder session, but I'll be able to ladder for a moment, and then we'll get some food. I believe in you, pa. I also believe I will smoge. I believe. Let's go. But yeah, otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you want to tune into more of the CranKy Ducklings, then you can check us out on the socials. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. We have Mastodon, we have Blue Sky as well. We have TikTok, we have Kick, all things CranKy Ducklings. It's all there. We do upload onto YouTube on a daily basis, so you can check us out on YouTube, as that's where all the VODs are uploaded and posted. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching. Where the stream is going to be going down for a moment. We're going to be raiding my personal channel, and we'll be back. We'll be live with some StarCraft. Oh boy, it's I am ready to smoge. I'm ready to all the smoge, baby. Let's go. Aye. But with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi. Ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.